beside you until our departure. Endlessly looking for answers. That's too far away. Giving up, letting go. Times we might feel compelled. Looking down from the heights that we have built all by ourselves. And there is fear of the unknown, but we cannot lose control. When we feel like the world is against us, we're trying to find ourselves without the defining words. We can no longer hold on to what only makes us hurt. We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something greater than ourselves that we must reach for. Now which way do we go is the question to ask. There are so many choices that it's hard not to look past. What is real and what is fake, and the risk we have to take. Will we know what is throwing off our balance? We're trying to find ourselves without the defining words. We can no longer hold on to what only makes us hurt. We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something greater than ourselves. Now I'm standing here in the water, watching the future while we're getting older. I don't know how to stop the machine. I don't know how to stop the man. Sometimes I feel my skin is too thin. Just wanna get out of this trend. I'm dealing from the sun goes down. I feel I have to go. I'm searching hard to block my mind. I just wanna go. Hey man, you heard it's too small. We're used to live out of control. I'm standing in the water, watching the warm death American nature. I don't know how to stop the machine. I don't know how to stop the man. Sometimes I feel my skin is too thin. Just wanna get out of this trend. I'm being from the sun goes down. I feel I have to go. I'm searching hard to.
Hello and welcome to the PUBG Online EU Showdown Series, where the best of the best go head-to-head, and this time there are some fantastic prizes. Joining me today is Jabroni Buro. Talk to me, Jabroni. What are these teams playing for?
Well, it is the final week of split number 1, and that is big, big things. That means, first of all, the top 16 teams from split number 1 will head into the Showdown Series for split number 2 to compete for $20,000 per region. Okay, so only
Per
16.
region.
Yeah, only 16 teams out of the 40 will make it in. So we have a ton that are right on the cusp in this lobby. We have a couple that are sitting towards the top, especially Liquid. They're your number 1 overall. But it's still split number 1, and we have $5,000 of prizes for split number 1. So if we could very quickly pop a leaderboard. There it is right now. That is the NA leaderboard as I look over at my wonderful production man. So NA, now you guys can keep up with the NA leaderboard. But first place will get $3,000, second place $1,500, and third $500. Those are your prizes just for split number 1. So those will be handed out. Team Liquid in this lobby, as you see the correct leaderboard popping up right now. They have a nice little lead, so they're sitting in a good position. Along with Team Liquid in this lobby, we do have Penta sitting in number 6, Avangar in number 7, Gentside, if I'm not mistaken, at number 9, and Method at number 10. So 5 of our top 10 teams are playing today in this lobby.
Yeah, and it's how many points for first place? It's like 100, right? 100 points?
Yeah, 100 points for first place.
100 points, and they're only within like 100 points. They're only like within 100 points. So it's really coming down to the wire. This game matters.
Yeah, absolutely. We had Team Liquid in week number 1 about a month and a half ago. They just absolutely went off. They've been holding down first place ever since, but now in the final week, it is getting very, very close. The plane is now out, Skyline. Southwest to northeast, not that bad. Maybe loving or catering to the Georgia Pole teams a little bit, but, I'm sure we'll probably still see some head over to Milta Power.
Yeah, Milta Power. It's a bit of a drive, bit of a drop, but people will go there, especially Milta, the beloved Milta. I can't remember the last game I saw where a team didn't go down to that southeastern city. But like you said, yeah, Georgia Pool. We have a couple teams going up there. Interested to see. Actually, we have some really late droppers as well. You see Ataxia and actually Jambawe from Crimson way up there in the hinterlands.
Hey, there's something about Kameshki. I absolutely remember when it first came out, nobody wanted to go there. It was just completely avoided. Like, people were like, no, Stalvar's a waste of time, Kameshki's a waste of time. And now it's kind of developed into a looting spot for these teams. So we do see a lot of teams that'll head up there and kind of split loot between Stalvar, Kameshki, and the surrounding compounds in that area. Jambawe, however, all alone for Crimson, so he needs to be careful as he's moving around this area.
This is like the freebie spot, right? It's like, oh, well, we might not get the best stuff, but we're definitely not going to die. At least that's
Exactly
what
right,
Jambawe
exactly
thinks.
right.
Hopefully he doesn't run into anybody. I mean, what safer spot to split loot is there than the place no one ever goes?
Yeah, I mean, that's 100% correct. I mean, we've even seen some teams moving up towards Zarki lately. So the Northwest, the Northeast, those hidden gems on the map, if you will, that can absolutely be the worst place to be ever if you get a terrible circle. But not this one. We're staying on the eastern side. So look at this. Kameshki and Svalbard still safe in circle number 1.
That's a real that's an eastern circle, man. That's as east as it gets, just about. So lots of water in this one. We'll have to see what our players do. You know, Team Crimson, they like throwing Jambawe in the split loot. It'll do pretty well this time around, but they have 680 points. They need to get like 4 first places here.
Yeah,
Crimson first.
Crimson is a very, very important team to keep an eye on today. They're team number 15 right in front of you. You see NBS, you see Lockwood. Now, what's so important about this team is they're sitting in 14th overall right now. So they are, if it ended this very moment, they would be in showdown for split number 2. But they need to make sure they have a good week because there's a lot of teams right behind them sitting there waiting to take that position. So they need to lock it up here. This is their last chance. These 4 games today, the last time they're going to play in split number 1. Get all the points you possibly can, Crimson, and lock down that spot for showdown.
There you go. Team Crimson, keep your eyes on this team, guys, because they're really fighting for their lives. If they slip up, they might be knocked out, but if they do well, then that's all they need. We actually have our first blood drawn down in Military Island. Looks like someone knocked themselves out from Spec Gaming. Fierce is resing him right now, but that doesn't matter. What matters is all the players who need to go into the circle. They need to go a little bit earlier. Yeah, you see the low health there on Eiffel. So when you have a circle like this, far, far to the east, it puts pressure on people to move earlier, right?
Well, it's one of those things we see a lot of different teams play differently. Some of the teams will shoot dead center right away. We see team number 7 right there. That is Vivictus. They're actually in a great spot in Lipovka, so they can make a huge play for a center compound here. Loot up. Everyone gets, in a good location. It's like, all right, let's just drive a short distance. Let's get out of Lipovka. Let's get a compound that we can defend nicely. And then there's other teams on the western side. If I'm not mistaken, down in Primorsk, we have Finstack in this game all the way down there. You see Jerpsy over there. You see Seek. You see Timmy Z. Now, that is a long, long travel. So for them, maybe be more passive. Maybe take your time looting, ride the blue into the zone. Just take your time. There's no rush. The worst thing you could possibly do when moving into a circle is overcommit, drive too far in, and end up driving too late past teams that are already set up.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We actually have our real first blood as Zulu is the player who goes down to just a random elastics coming across him, the UMP. Now, you never expect the surprise UMP from the compound.
The ghostly UMP from Elastics. And, we were just talking about this. That's a tough break for Finstack here early, losing 1. They're actually sitting in 33rd overall, so kind of a dream for them to try and get into showdown. They would need a absolutely massive day. And team number 5 there grabbing that kill. That is unskilled. They're sitting in 31st, so very, very similar. Tough to get to top 16 from that position so late in the season.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, we have... if we take a quick look at the map, we see that it's starting to get real dense, man. We're starting to really start to boil here in the circle. And you can even see over here X Team taking some shots at players. When you have a circle like this, the edge is pretty safe for now because look at all those compounds and such. But the teams in Georgia Pool, what do you think if you're in their position, way in the west?
Well, I think it's one of those things, you ride the northern side, you go past Severny, you take your time, head up to where Ataxia is right now, come in from the north through Kameshki, and then move south. It's a safe trip for the most part. In this case, we do know Ataxia there, which is kind of rare, but it is the most important play for these players to make is let's get into the zone, but let's get into the zone without passing anyone. Let's get into the zone without pushing into a compound that someone already has. Take a less optimal spot now, hope for circle like luck later. And yeah, Francario feeling pretty good right now that he was able to survive there.
That was close. You guys definitely saw that happen. Francario dropping to just a couple cents worth of a health bar. But he fortunately managed to find his way behind a tree, and he'll be fine. A little bit split up from his team, though, so we'll have to see how they manage to get back together. But all these vehicles here, I mean, someone's got to die, right? We've got to see some blood from a vehicle at some point. It's just too much density.
Yep, and and look at what's happening. Look at all these teams packing right on top of each other over here on the peninsula. This is completely out of control. Method, you see it right in front of you. Team number 2 here, 10th overall. And the shots are coming out, Skyline.
They are. I mean, they're just sitting on the hill shooting at everybody. I don't know. There's just too many. There's just too many cars to even shoot at. You saw how every person was shooting at something different. No one got a kill, but man, was that something. So this hill is a hill we've seen teams win on so many times before in these types of circles, and Method is getting there early. Well, I'm liking their chances.
Yeah, this is taking me back to last week during NA. We actually had Cloud9 make the exact same play. They moved relatively late, actually, went past everybody, got onto this hill, and just started racking up kills. Ended with like 16 or 17 kills. They unfortunately only got second place. They did not get the win, but they were just decimating teams from all angles. You have plenty of cover and the sight lines. You can make sure you know where so many squads are. Nobody can approach you safely, and that's what's so important for where Method is right now. They're in a great position coming into this first game.
Yeah, and where is Method on the leaderboard, by the way? I didn't see before. Are they
10th overall right now in total points? So they are in a position where they could try and push into the money, try and get towards first, second, and third. They do need some wins today. They definitely need a ton of kills. They need a huge day to get there, but it is very, very possible.
All right, keep your eyes on Method, guys. They have a great position if the circle keeps staying relatively central, which it probably will, but you never know. It is Battle Royale after all. We have a crate. It's a Groza with a sniper rifle suppressor, just in case you already had a sniper rifle. You know, it can't go on the Groza, and a level 3 helmet. Yeah,
there's something about these crates always giving you attachments for not the gun that's in there. It's like it's kind of set up so, hey, you can have a Groza, but then we're giving you an AR comp that you can't use on it, or you're getting a sniper suppressor or something along those lines. That's just what happens with the crates here. Team number 16, this is Penta. Tommel right now, 6th overall. Penta definitely can make a huge push into the money, into the top 3. So keep an eye on Penta today, looking very good as of late. 6th overall, 745 total points just from placements so far this season. So they've been playing very, very well. Simzy, Lux, and Ultra with Tommel. They are a great team. And once again, they're holding a nice position just to the east of Method. So we might see that fight later in the game.
Yeah, this is actually key. They're holding the compound just below Method, who you see is up the hill. So I think these teams might run into each other, depending. We'll have to see. Timmy Z, uh-oh, he takes half, but I think he just found a rock to hide behind. Oh, he lost his vehicle, too. And someone's gonna die at some point, I'm telling you.
Yeah, someone will die at some point in this game for sure. I can definitely
in a vehicle.
In a vehicle, yes, in a vehicle. Well, hey, it could be, we see Mumino here, and Avangard moving very late. We also see Wind and Rain moving very late. These two teams, that's what I talked about. If you're all the way on the west, don't rush. Don't get in the zone.
Oh,
patient.
there
Look
it
at
is.
Genside going down.
Genside is, how many times can they be knocked out? Jeez, I feel like I saw 12 Genside players on the kill feed. But yeah, that was a vehicle. That was something. They all it said that they died from falling, but...
Well, Genside, another team here that needs a good day, sitting in 9th overall. They'll be team number 11. One of them is still alive. I'm pretty sure we just lost 3, if I'm not mistaken. But we still have one Genside player here somewhere creeping around still alive. But that is a tough break. The vehicles are a dangerous, dangerous thing to be moving around through the zone. Very scary. Oh, was it a boat? Or is
what
just
happened
with one? I don't know what happened.
All right. That's a good question now. Because Kylank is driving in a boat by himself. How did his
he
teammates...
has +1. I see +1. So he's with someone.
Well, let's see. Oh, he is with someone.
I have a lot of questions, Genside. I have a lot of questions.
I literally saw like 10 Gensides in the kill feed.
Yes.
All right? So something happened that was not 100% traditional, shall we say, I think, to this team. I'd like to... So go ahead and tell us in the chat, Genside, what happened to you later on.
Well, here's the thing, Skyline. With the way water works, if you're actually knocked while in a boat, you will fall out and die. So I think they may have had 2 players getting knocked out, falling into the water and dying. We did have some players down still on military that may have been taking some shots. That could have been what happened, but I agree with you. I thought I saw like 19 players get downed there on the kill feed. So maybe a little bug or something, but there was a lot going on.
All right. Well, over here, not something you see very often in prison. Chronix is caught inside. People like to go around, they like to go over, but they don't like to be in prison at this stage of the game. And we're seeing exactly why right here. Chronix in quite a dicey situation.
Yep, Chronics for Exalt Gaming down here. Now this team needs a huge dude. They're sitting at number 20. They can get top 16. They absolutely can get top 16, but this is their last chance. 4 games left for Exalt. They need a lot of kills. They need to make a lot of plays here. They need to get the points. They cannot be patient. They cannot waste time. It all comes down to this day for them, and they need to try and make the jump.
And this is a big day. It's a big day, guys. So if you have ever thought about tuning into PUBG Online, which of course you are now, stick around. This day is important. All 4 games, games 1, 2, 3, and 4 are gonna be important. So
look at that new circle, Scout. Look at that nice new circle. Takes out a bunch of water, stays center. Everybody's still okay. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Oh, look at this. We have some convergence happening around Mansion. Are these players gonna join up? Who knows? We already have Mista and Crispier here, but Elastix is scouting around. I think he's gonna go past it. But Mansion is definitely a hotbed. Lots of teams like Mansion.
Absolutely. And you know what? Mansion has actually become a lot weaker now that we've added this huge forest in the back. It is now easier for teams to leave if they need to go to the north here. As we see Noxious, team number 10, they're sitting at 25th. I know there's a lot of Noxious fans in the chat. Chris right there. You see Mista. They need a lot of points. They need a lot of kills. 25 to 16. That is a 9 placement jump that they need to make here in the last day. So possible, maybe, very unlikely. They need a massive day coming out of Noxious. But back to Mansion. Mansion, it's lost a lot of strength due to the trees. As you can see right now, trying to take shots at vehicles or players passing by is that much harder as they've added all this new foliage in. And then you have teams like team number 6 here, which is Pro 100. They're able to get into the forest and hide and be very, very close to you.
This forest scares me, man. It's spooky. There's lots of shadows. It's dark. And we always see teams get shredded in here. So I really hope that Pro 100 can find their way out, especially if the circle goes away. But if we take a look over further out to the east, your Mayfire, I think he had a, oh wow, that was so close. Fake with great shots to barely save himself. Barely. Very low health.
Yes, his Method actually taking on Exalt Gaming. We talked about both these teams. Method sitting at number 10 and Exalt, them needing a jump, being at 20th. Cup of Magic going down for Exalt, though, so they're losing a lot. They're taking a lot of damage here from Method.
Who else is left here? Oh, looks like just Chronix driving by. This is the guy from the prison, remember? But where is he going? He's being shot at. He has to go into the water. Is he going to make it? Looks like he will. Look at that. 10 out of 10, man.
A little Evil Knievel jump to get out of there and try and stay alive. So Mole Man will most likely be able to be picked up here for Method. That's huge for them, grabbing some early kills. We talked about it. Their push to get into those top 3. They need to get the kills, and they're in a position to do so. Nice to see them fragging out very, very early in this game. Still 16 teams out of 16 alive.
Yeah, but we have quite a few solos running around at this stage of the game. So, we're missing 10 players, but no team has gone down quite yet. Our teams have learned to be pretty tenacious, right? They usually don't get fully squad wiped early on.
Yeah, it's a safety thing. You know, anytime we see a lot of these teams, you know, they're losing a fight or they get nervous, 2 of their players are down, they're in a 4v2, the remaining players, the surviving ones, will back off, sacrifice their teammates, say, sorry, I'm not going to try and save you. Placement is too vital here. It's too important. And they'll move and try and play the solo dream.
We talked about Team Liquid earlier, but I just want to give them a more proper introduction. This is Team Liquid, first place team. This is a team to, if you want to see a fragging team, right? If you want to see the kills, watch this team. This team is the #1 fragging team on average in PUBG. Despite, it doesn't matter whether they place first or 12th or whatever, on average, Team Liquid, highest fraggers in the game right now.
Yeah, absolutely. They have almost 350 points in PUBG Online just from kills. Now, it's 3 points per kill. So they have 116 kills so far this season in just 4 weeks of games. So that's 16 games, 116 kills. Wild stuff coming out of Liquid here in Season 1 of PUBG Online. They've been absolutely crushing it in Split #1. And they're a guarantee to be in Showdown in Split #2. But right now, they're trying to maintain that first place. They're trying to ensure their $3,000 prize pool for Split #1, and then ensure they get into even more money coming in Split #2.
All right, Jabroni, here we go. This is where it gets serious. The circle's about to meet. We're about to see where it's going to go, and this will really determine where the mid game is. Look at that.
That went south. That is a tough break for Wind and Rain. We were just looking at them up in the north. Wind and Rain 15th overall right now. They need to make the plays and ensure this. They are moving right away. You see them hopping in the vehicles. Let's get to the zone ASAP. This one went all the way south. Wind and Rain all the way north. It's a lot of movement, and those teams that were centered no more. They'll be holding down the northern side, so it's kind of one of those decisions. If your team's like Method, if you're Liquid, do you stay where you are and look for the kills while other teams are rotating, or do you move down, try and get a center position, and try and get a first place winnable spot?
Well, we'll have to see what they do, as all of these teams now are trying to make their way down south. They're not all going to make it, guys. We're going to see at least a couple teams go down here. It's very unlikely that we keep all 16. Here comes Mumino straight into Method by the looks of it. Can they take him down? He's pretty close. Andy goes forward with the rest of his team. They can't quite land it. They only bring him down to half. And Nucleative looks like he gets away as well. And they will. They're going to get away just from Method. Now, that was just from Method. They still have a lot of teams to drive by.
A lot of teams to go by as you're moving south there. That's Avangar. They will get in, but looks like they chose the same location as Wind and Rain, and Keen goes down right away.
Here we go. So remember, this team is a little bit of a start from their drive, but Innocutive with a great shot is going to take Rustamar off right off the bat. We only have a couple more players left. Cap. Oh, look at this, all the way in. He's being aggressive, but oh no! The shots from Mumino blow up the Jeep at the very last second, and two are left just hiding behind this little shack.
Yeah, this is tough if you're Wind and Rain right now. They got down to a nice location, immediately shared that spot with Avangar. Rustin Mark going down, and then the vehicle Expo taking out another, so it's all up to Cheese Doodles and his partner here. The frags are coming out. This could be very dangerous. One good one could put them in a horrible spot. Yeah, definitely a tough angle. Keen, the most likely to get one in there, but it is not an easy throw, especially if you push out, putting yourself in a spot that Cheese Doodles might be able to just completely take it out.
Yeah, they've got to be scared about behind them too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There are teams behind them. Not quite with the right angle. Cheese Doodles peeks out. Watch the shoulder there, man. Watch it. Oh, speaking of grenades and hard angles, looks like they found it anyway. Cheese Doodles will go down, and are they going to push? This would be a good opportunity. Oh, another one! Mumino with the throw. Jeez, and that's it. That's our first team to go down.
That's so tough for Wind and Rain. We said it before. 15th overall right now, trying to lock up a top 16 spot. They need the points. Going out first is just a horrible situation for them to be in to start off today. They're going to need a huge 3 games to really secure this one, but a huge play for Avangar. Avangar has to be feeling pretty good. They're 7th overall, grabbing some early kills here, winning a nice little fight, grabbing a compound. Keep an eye on Avangar as they try and push towards the top 3 as well.
Oh yeah, that was clean. That was smooth. But Wind and Rain, man, they need to go into hope mode and overdrive after this game in games number 2, 3, and 4. Over here in Lipovka, we have a little bit of a standoff, you know, a little bit of pokey between two teams. We're surprisingly close. Normally, you don't see teams at this stage of the game just like right next to each other in a city.
Yeah, back from Sarky and Gent side right here. It's kind of strange that these teams both opted to stay in Lipovka and move here. It's kind of a strange circle to move into Lipovka, and you will eventually have more than one team, which makes it that much scarier, because when you try and leave later, it is going to be very tough, especially if you're Gent side here. You're going to have to push out while the blue is at your back, take a fight, and then even if you win the fight, you're running in blue trying to move into the next zone. So the new zone did just pop. We'll check it out, and it is Spet Gaming that's dead center right now. Mansion still in, and a couple of the compounds, the one we saw Wind and Rain fighting Avangar at, still safe as well.
That's looking nice. So note Ataxia just lost 1, so they're down to 3. Not super tragic, but you know it can really matter in the later stages of the game. We have a crate. I think it's fresh, and it is an M24 with a scope. Oof. Why not? I met it. Hey, M24 is pretty good. It's like one of the best snipers.
I'm a huge fan of the M24. Anytime I'm going to a crate, it better be an M24 or an AWM. I mean, I like the AUG, I like the Groza, I like the M249, but I mean, come on, I'm going there for the sniping clips. I like the sound. Make it happen.
It is nice. Especially the silent sound is just
it's a dream come true.
It's music to my ears, man. So we have the circle. It's really far south again. Well, it's not really far. It's a little bit south again. But most importantly, it's over Mansion, right? It's over Mansion, so we get a little bit of that forest action, the Mansion action. We were talking before how it was a hotbed, and it's for good reason, especially on this eastern side of the map.
Yeah, Noxious is still holding down the optimal spot in Mansion. They're holding down that garage building down to the southeast. So it's a good spot for them to hold, especially if they want some kills. What they need to worry about is a lot of teams like Liquid, Attacks, they're going to be able to sneak through the forest and get a good approach, a safe approach, up until the actual Mansion building. So it's very likely that once this circle's closed, we have 4, 5 teams. You see Crimson moving in as well. 4 or 5 teams right on top of each other. A lot of pressure in the northwest of the safe zone.
Taxia already lost one random member who was split off. Let's not make it 2 here, Lixrin. He's going to go back with his team. Now, yeah, teams trying to approach Mansion, but it's not easy, man. It's not easy to approach this area as Lixrin goes all the way around. We're going to see a couple more teams die here. As already in the kill feed, we see Seek get a triple, or a double or a triple there. And actually up in the northwest is where it's really lighting up. Liquid are fragging out.
Yeah, Liquid in a huge fight up in the northwest. Here we see Finstack. They're putting a lot of damage out. We talked about the 33rd. They need a ton of kills and a ton of wins. And they've started this off by fragging out on all the teams leaving Lipoka.
Happy Feet, Dykes, back and forth, right, left, ducking.
Dodge, dip, dive, and dodge.
Jeez, this man is invulnerable. He can't take damage, but, I mean, if you prone down and sit still, so you can... I guess that works, right? And that's it for Genside. Genside's down. Lipovka's gone.
Yeah, Genside and back from Zark. We talked about him. They were in Lipovka's a weird position, and they both died of Finstack. Finstack picking up 6 kills as they try and exit. Now here, team number 5, this is unskilled. They're going to try and hold off Crimson to the north, and if I'm not mistaken, they do have Liquid to the northeast. They also have team number 6 Pro 100. And to the east, Noxious. So 5 teams in the Mansion area. Liquid actually moving around the northern side of the zone, kind of avoiding it as much as they can, which is a very smart play by them because they know this is incredibly violent here. Get out, stay away as much as you can, stay in the forest. Crimson, however, they're going to full push this one.
Yeah, a little bit of a sneaky maneuver into Mansion. Now, this is very far on the edge, right? So they can't stay here forever, but they can definitely get some shots. Crab, Ick, looking. Did he see anyone in the window? I don't think so. That was the X-ray. I don't think he quite saw anyone. But he's certainly aware that someone's there.
Yeah, and now we should really pay attention to what Liquid does here. Liquid down up in the north. They really can only move through the forest with cover. Besides that, if they go southeast, which is where they're going to have to go, not much cover. So it'll be interesting to see how they rotate. Maybe they rotate into Mansion and look for the fights, try and frag out as much as they can, knowing they're in such a tough spot. Team number 6, you see Pro 100. They're moving right away, right towards Noxious. Mr. TV, they're hopping in the vehicles. They're just going to drive away and not even wait for the fights, try and get into the zone. So all these teams from Mansion just kind of leaving as soon as they possibly can.
That was some nice timing, man. Those 2 teams miss each other by mere seconds. And now, yeah, if we take a look here, look at this little dip. This is pretty cool here. Team Noxious, I think this position's pretty nice.
Yeah, you got to know the map. That's what's so important for so many of these teams. They see a zone like this. It looks like a tough, brutal one, especially if you don't know the land. But if you know the dips, if you know where you can find the cover, if you have your vehicles, you can create a nice little compound for yourself. Jambon just jumping out. He was under a little bit of fire, so they'll hold down the breakable shack, which is kind of scary. Other teams, we see Attacks here. They went all the way to the southwest. I love their movement, but they're in a tough spot now.
All right, so this half of the team taking a less breakable area, but actually Jambon gets knocked out of the buggy. Now, Elastic, he's only going to live if no one knows he's here. No one does know he's here.
Yeah, and I think it's a good play to stay here, actually, splitting. You know, they did lose one there, which is kind of unfortunate, so they're in a 2-1 split right now, but I think Elastic's just a little further into the zone, providing some support just in case something like this happens when Attacks does push on. Elastic's could hypothetically look for a peek, see if he can get an angle. It might be tough because he's a little low, might not have a great angle to help his squad, but it is a nice advantage to have a player outside feeding information, as Maydai does spot them out and take some shots.
Yeah, well, let's see if the hypothetical help comes because they're going to need an Ataxia full pushing, but maybe not. Maybe you don't need it. Maybe it'll just kill everyone, right? Great shots there. Rax drops relatively low as well. And Ataxia's push gets halted to a stop.
It is very important that they got to the buildings at all, though. They do have a player in the zone, which is really wild because that's a tough rotation around the southwest. So Ataxia, they're great mind for this rotation, great mind for this zone, knowing there's not going to be many or any players to the southwest, and we could try and use these hills, wrap around, and move into this compound and get a nice, safe location. Even if they are contested here, Rax is safe. Rax is in the zone.
He is, for now. This is very far on the edge. These teams have to go up against each other at some point. There's no way they can hide for long. So Ataxia 2 up against another 2 players. Crimson on the west, they're trying to make their way in and having a heck of a time of it. It's just down to Nibs versus Risknos, it looks like. This is a 1v1, but Nibs obviously a big disadvantage. I think one of those grenades hit because Risknos took a lot of damage. Let's see. It's a 1v1 and Nibs, oh, it's a tie. It's a tie. Nibs gets the kill, but in the zone.
Yeah, NBS, they're just completely committed, decide, hey, we're just going to sit in the zone. I'm going to die here, but I'm going to get this kill. That's one placement better that he will get. As we see team number 6, Brawl Hunter, they're under pressure again. Spet Gaming still holding down the only compound in the new zone. They're in a pretty good location to win this game. We did lose Team Liquid on the last rotation. They're eliminated. Avangar under a ton of pressure as Anukman is down. Taking on Finstack here on the east.
We have Chirpsy. There's a team member who's alive behind him to support, but man, Keen is not that far over the hill. Just a quick pop up, and that's all they need. In fact, Keen's going to go down to someone. Oh no, he's not. He's still there. He was at
one little hair of HP
I
there. I thought he was dead. I was like, oh, and they're done. Nope, well, they're fine.
Yeah.
That's the second time that I called Keen dead this game, and he wasn't. So he has gotten dangerously low twice. But look at team number 7 pushing around. This is a problem. Vevictus is going to push right on top of Keen. You are prone. You are not there.
Take one. As long as he doesn't get pushed from behind, he can actually maybe hold it. No, the reload. Oh, the reload. Those 5 bullets aren't going to help when you're dead.
Yeah, now Finstack is back at 3-man strength. They did get some reses there, so they will have to take on Vevictus very quick on the east. And then they're going to have to move, but this fight taking off right now. Team number 5 against team number 3. That is Unskilled taking on alternate attacks. Nice little 2v2, if I'm not mistaken. We do have a third member for Unskilled down in the breakable shack that we talked about earlier.
They need to go, man. They need to finish this up. Let's see a fight, because this blue, it hurts. It hurts real bad. So Ataxia, they have the outside, and so when you have this situation, the players outside the house have the advantage. But let's see, Matey needs to win this week here. Rax already had the angle. Matey has to take it again. This is it. This corner. It's the corner of destiny. Let's see it, Matey. Let's see it, Rax. The circle's coming. All right. Now they have to go. They have to go. They're already taking damage. Jargon's already taking like half an HP bar. But look at that. Beautiful shot from Matey. Jeez, that guy's been on fire so far. Ataxia's down and out. But I don't know if Matey can make it.
That's tough. Now he will go down, and when it's all down to that last player for team number 5, Unskilled, in the breakable shack we talked about. Finstack did win the fight on the east, but there is still 1 player left for Vevictus. You see X team over there by the crate. So right now, 5 teams alive. Krabik sitting in the blue, just trying to hide from Spet Gaming right now. No rush in. X team is just going to prone behind this and just pretend he does not exist. Spet Gaming, if I'm not mistaken, the only team of 4. They're in a great position right now with 4 alive, and then Finstack with 3. Those are the 2 most likely winners this one. The other 3 all solos.
Come on, Crab 1K. You can do it. Oh, no, he stopped. Is that going to be in time? I don't think so. Crab 1K. He's for dinner, it looks like.
Feels bad. It was a valiant effort, though.
It was. Spec Gaming's looking like they're in a great position here. And we'll have to see where the circle is. All these players are on the edge. Wouldn't it be a treat to see the circle go far southwest? Everyone needs to run there.
I would like it to go to the breakable shack down on the south side. Hand this one over to Unskilled to be like, now defend it.
There it is.
All by himself. That'd be great. So, hey, it's south. It's pretty much an open field. There is a little bit of a dip, if I'm not mistaken, towards the little road-like area in the center structure. That you can get kind of low there. No, maybe not too much cover, actually, now that I'm looking at it.
All right, let's see. Now, the uphill advantage will go. Well, we have Seek up here for Finstack. Let's see if they can hold out. And let's see if our destructible shack boy,
Elastics went down.
Team Unskilled.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, wow. That's surprising. Okay, so that was a push down here. As the other members of Finstack already going into the circle. You know, this is slick. This is good. They're keeping Seek here for pressure. X team is just a nice accessory. But Spec Gaming, they need to start making a move. They have the numbers advantage. They've got to use it.
Yeah, Finstack's going to get in a good position here. They do have 1. Seek does go down. That's very unfortunate. So Spet Gaming will have what seems to potentially be a 4v2 as long as they move into the zone. The vehicle does get into the zone, and that is huge for them. They have a locked position in, and they have a nice flank onto Finstack.
Don't forget about X Team. He can make some big plays happen. He could do a ton of damage, and in fact, the circle is going to force him to move right now. Grenade over. Oh, that's looking pretty okay, actually. Yes, it is. Jerpsy. I don't know. I don't think he got hit by the grenade, but PJ took him out. Timmy's is looking pretty bad too behind the tree, and that's it. It's actually going to be X Team, who's the only who stays alive. So Vivictus Esports.
Oh, nice knock.
What the? Whoa! The double tap headshot. Let's see. Can he do the 1v3? It's looking pretty bad here. Fearix pops over the head. Surprise, but still, Vivictus Esports getting second place.
Bobbing and weaving there at the end. I thought he was going to be able to have that one. That was a nice little headshot. Nice try by X Team there. But hey, you know, sometimes you got to prone. You got to get behind a little care package, pretend you're not there. Get that second place. Get that placement for your team. That is huge. That is very important for Vivictus. They were 38th at the start of today, so they definitely need the points. Jerpsy and the rest of FinStack, they were 33rd. Ton of points coming out of them. But Spet Gaming, now we need to keep an eye on them because they were 26th overall. They're trying to get in that top 16, and they start today off with a huge 11-kill win. So that dream is now becoming a little more realistic after winning game number 1.
Yeah, we actually don't have... we have a lot of our lower teams in the top here. We don't have Liquid at all. We don't have a lot of our top teams in the top of this game. So we'll have to see if they can bring it next game.
Yeah, and that's what's so important. It's one of those things where you need to make sure that not only if you're, you know, not quite in the top 16, you're playing hard, but you need to make sure you secure that spot because it is not that many points that separates a lot of these teams. You could really jump on having a big day. Spet Gaming starting off with a win, starting off with 11 kills. Here we'll see some replays of the game. First, it's Fake taking out Uderme Fire. That was a dangerous fight there. Fake one shot away. Rustenmar moving into the zone for Wind and Rain. This is what we talked about, that rough rotation when the zone did go to the south. Rustenmar here pushing up. This is Avangar and Wind and Rain, that fight in the compound, both deciding to go to the same location. And we did see it was Avangar making a lot of plays, downing Rustenmar, then blowing up Kaz in the vehicle explo, then the 3v2, a lot of pressure onto the other two members of Wind and Rain. They were able to take them out. That was your first team eliminated, and a lot of points for Avangar.
Jeez, I forgot about that one. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed game number 1. These games are important. Don't forget that. So stick around until the very last game to see who gets the cash and who sticks around to win potentially even more cash in Showdown Series. All right, we'll see you in game number 2. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Listen to the sound of running water, because this is game number 2 for the PUBG Online EU and EU Showdown Series, where the best of the best are competing for not only a shot at getting into the second split, but also for some fantastic cash prizes. Joining me today is Jabroni Bro. Talk to me about what happened.
Well, hey, Spet Gaming winning game number 1 today. We are playing 4 games, so 3 more. This is game number 2. The running water is nice. It's actually very calming. But yeah, we're playing. We have cash prizes for split number 1. That ends tomorrow. 16 teams are playing for EU today. 16 teams playing tomorrow. 8 teams have off. There's 40 teams in the leaderboard. Only the top 3 get anything. Number 1 getting $3,000. Number 2 getting $1,500. Number 3 getting $500. On top of that, the top 16 out of those 40 will move on to the Showdown Series starting next week. That is where the big money is. That is $20,000 per region, meaning $20,000 for EU and $20,000 for NA. No cross-region play, nothing like that. We will have an EU winner. We will have an NA winner. It's an amazing thing, and it's very exciting to start with so many teams. 320 players we're starting with Skyline in this whole thing, and at the end, only 8 will call themselves winners of the Showdown Series in season number 1. So a lot of excitement. And here's the plane coming in from the southeast, moving about towards the center, towards the Severny area, heading north.
Yeah, but it's pretty far east, pretty much the opposite, kind of the opposite of our last plane. The last plane was very Georgia Pole-esque, and this one going to be a bit of a drop. But Milta and Milta Power, easy.
Easy pickings in the Milta and Milta Power area. And, it's a great location. We see FaZe and Vitality normally. Neither of them in this lobby. Both of them actually playing tomorrow. So Milta and Milta Power up for grabs. And it's one of those things we talk about every now and then. Split 1 has been rolling lobbies, meaning we rotate the teams in and out every single week. So your lobby is never the same. And it makes for a lot of interesting looting because you need to learn where the teams in your lobby that week are going to drop, and you need to either challenge them or adjust. And it's one of those things now. We see Grishka Power and Francario and Krabic. They're all heading in the direction of Milta Power. Normally, if FaZe is in that lobby, nobody goes in that direction because they know FaZe will be Milta Power. So it's one of those things, we see teams kind of jumping all over the place. Actually, an interesting split here for team number 1, Finstack. We see Jerpsy and Zulu down on Sosnovka, grabbing some of the vehicles there, and then Seek and Timmy Z on the main island up in the north. So an interesting split for those two for that squad.
Yeah. What else do we have going on here? We have looks like our teams are pretty nicely partitioned. We have some spaghetti going on by Lipovka area. Lots of players going around, kind of close, not very close to each other, but close enough so that maybe something could happen. But besides that, looks like most of our teams are starting their game off cleanly, and the circle is starting, it's that river split kind of with Stalber in it.
The river split. It's a scary circle, Skyline, because it's one of those things where even though the majority of this one is up north, there's always a chance coming down south. Andrea from Gentside grabbing the first kill of the game onto X-Team. X-Team, after surviving so long in game number 1, is the first eliminated in game number 2.
The guy's tired. He wants to take a break. Let us do it.
I can understand that. Rest the hands a little bit. Carpal tunnel's a real thing. We don't want anybody experiencing that. So every now and then, give yourself a little hand massage. Take a break. I like his style.
Yeah, stay safe out there, guys, with your wrists. So when we have a circle like this one's a little bit further north. So the river split might not be too bad, but the river split is rough. The reason why it's such a split is because you never know. Go north or south? Who knows? This one edging north, but you never know.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to commit to a side early, which we'll see a lot of teams do as the timer starts to close on circle number 1. Most of the teams will probably grab a compound up in the north because it's more likely it goes that way. But the worst thing you could possibly do when the river goes through the middle of the circle is guess wrong. If you guess north and it goes south, you're in trouble. If you guess south and it goes north, you're in trouble, because crossing the river is such a pain to try and get either one to move across the bridges or trying to swim across and then get out and run and find a compound. Creates a lot of danger. Here's team number 10. This is Noxious. A lot of Noxious fans in the chat. I said earlier, I see it all the time. I see the Nox spam all over the place. Sitting in 24th. Keep an eye on Noxious, guys. They can definitely push this one. They definitely have an opportunity, a chance to gain a ton of points and get into that top 16. So we're going to need a lot of Nox spam here to keep Mr. TV and the boys alive as they try and get into Showdown Series.
Yeah, one win and then a couple good games, and man, they're off. They're off to the showdown. So we are also now a team that didn't do so well last time was Team Liquid. We highlighted them as our first place team, and they like to frag out, but sometimes their bloodlust gets in the way of their placement, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, Liquid, I love the way they play because they prioritize, all right, if you're near us, we're going to kill you. That's what we're going to do. We're going to fight you. You know, if we lose, that's fine. And I think that's the way that they played in game number 1. They were holding down an area north of Mansion. It was a tough spot. They were never going to be able to safely rotate into that zone unless they got just so lucky. So I don't think they put themselves in a bad location. I think it was just kind of the way the circles went. And what they decided to do at the end of all that, we did not see it on stream. We were holding down the camera on the southern side while Liquid was moving on the north. They moved into Mansion, took a fight, got some kills, but in the end did go out fairly early. So they grabbed as many points as they could. They played the game a good way, a good method, a good mindset in game number 1. But now, you know, let's get the placements. Let's secure that first place. That's what Liquid is here to do. They have a lead. They're sitting in first overall. They don't want to have to worry about it. There's 16 teams playing tomorrow. Number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5 are all playing tomorrow, meaning that Liquid needs to secure as many points as they can so none of those teams can catch up.
Yeah, and it's interesting, the league format, it really, you know, the teams aren't necessarily directly competing with each other. They just need to have their best overall performance they can have against a variety of teams. And that's not something we see in every league, where sometimes, like in previous PUBG Online leagues, you play against the same people every single time. This time we switched it around a little bit.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it creates situations for teams where they are either in control of their own destiny, where Liquid right now, they can do whatever they can to get as many points and create the biggest lead as possible. But if they let this opportunity slide, then they are no longer in control. And they leave it up to the teams tomorrow with the opportunity to take that first place from them. So that's the kind of thing you never want to leave it up to the other teams. When you have your opportunity, you need to make sure you take it so you're not sitting there tomorrow watching and hoping that that other teams fail. And it's not just Liquid. It's a lot of the teams in the middle, too. If you end today, you know, in 16th or 15th overall, tomorrow you're sitting there and you're looking at the teams 17, 18, and 19, and you're like, please don't do good. Please have a bad day. Please stay behind us. And that is not the mentality that you want to have. That's not the position that you want to be in.
All right. Well, we got a box. I don't know who's going to get this box, but it is a box, and it has an AUG with some stuff. I mean, it's an AUG. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to find the box.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Even the crate cannot commit to north or south of the river. It has to land in it. Kind of interesting. So, yeah, that's pretty much Wind and Rain or Avangard, the only two opportunities for that AG as they try and move into the zone. I don't even know if they'll see it, so that could be a tough spot for them. Team number 12, though, we're back here once again with Exalt. We need to watch Exalt. They had a tough break last game. They were in a lot of trouble. This is a team that needs what just happened with that bike. Stay away from it, Risco. Literally, dude, just stay away from it.
That is a demon. Have, I think that they have personalities. Some of them are just a little aggressive and hard to handle. Others they're like horses.
Yeah.
They're basically horses.
You can't just jump on a wild horse. It needs to be trained, you know? I mean, there's a lot of things here with these three-seaters that are just completely out of control. He was just tossing and turning. He was going like 25 kilometers an hour, flipping all over the place. So I definitely be pretty fearful.
Yeah, trikes are the bane of players in this game sometimes. Now, we have the circle coming up. It's going to be pretty soon. And this one is, normally these early circles don't matter as much. Like they're not as determinate, but this one could decide whether we go north across the river or south across the river, or it could be even a tighter split. So whenever we have the river in there, these circles matter much more.
Absolutely. Cheese Doodle's got to be careful, though. He's heading right towards Simsy. It's
Oh,
Doom. If the shots come out, he does
nice.
take out Wick. Will also
whoa,
get Cheese
whoa.
Doodles.
Cheese Doodles, he didn't think he was going to get away, it looks like. I mean, Simsy really laid it into him there. That was like 1 second. He already had 150% HP gone from those two players. So really nice double kill from Simsy.
Yeah, they were trying to stop at that exact location. This is kind of optimal. A lot of players like to go here. You get to see over the compound just to the northwest. And it's not really easy to get angles to shoot on this area that we see. Team number 16, Penta, they do have Simsy there. So it's a nice spot to be. Simsy got there early, and he was able to defend it in the 1v2, getting nice shots onto the bike as it approached. And that's a tough break for Wind and Rain. Wind and Rain we talked about in game number 1. They're 15th overall right now. They need to get as high as they possibly can, so tomorrow they are not under pressure of teams passing them. Wind and Rain needs points, and losing too early is a huge problem. Eggydorp going down for Genside, though.
Yeah, good pickup by Grubsy. Oh, better get that. No, no, quick, chase
And
it.
it's gone.
It's running away,
It's
like
gone.
I said. The temperament, dude, the temperament on some of these trikes is just... oh my, it was going so fast.
I would just stay away from them. I've seen those trikes do wild things. I would just drive right past them like that.
All right, Zimbabwe taking some longer shots. So Genside's a little bit down the hill. Crimson can lay the oppression on them because they have this higher ground with their own compound. Now Crimson, 11th place. They've been showing okay progress so far. If they keep it up, I think that they're a shoe-in for Showdown.
Yeah, Crimson's been playing very, very well. You know, they're sitting at 14th, but they're a team that I think they've been consistent. And it's kind of interesting, actually, to see them here once again, because last week during EU, we did have 2 zones up in the north in this area, and NBS held down this warehouse exactly twice by himself. So it's interesting. 3 times they have now been here in the past 2 weeks. They obviously have their opinions on what the best location of hold is. Method in a little bit of a firefight here with back from Zarky. They're decided to hold down the gas station. Back from Zarky here, team number 14, taking some shots. They were trying to eyeball it a little bit, see if they wanted to move in that direction. But knowing that Method is there kind of pushes them back. Back from Zarky, another team right on the cusp.
Yeah, I mean, we keep saying it over and over again. All these teams are so close. So close. And this terrain is really harrowing. We've seen a couple times, there's so many hills and steps and layers and levels that frequently you get one team above, one team below, and a team above that even. So I think that once the circle updates, it'll be interesting to see. I don't think that all of our teams are going to get out of this in one piece.
No, absolutely not, and that's something that's very important. So I just got word, Crimson, we were just talking about them, right? We talked about how one game could really change a lot for these teams. Crimson went from 14th overall to 11th just last game. So that's how close these teams are. I mean, the gap between them in the center, right around 16, where all these teams need to be, it is fractions of placements. Like, it is a couple kills either way can completely change where these teams end up. So it's so important for these squads. Get as high as you possibly can. That way when the teams come in tomorrow, they are the ones chasing, and you are hopefully feeling somewhat secure here. Team number 5 right in front of us, Unskilled, 31 overall. They've had a tough split one so far, but they're here to disrupt as many as they possibly can here towards the end of the season.
All right, Jabroni, here's the circle. Let's see it. It's going to be, all right, further up to the north.
Wow.
In this sort of middle hilly area, you have that big Stalber hill there. Actually, Grubsy with another pick. Man, this guy is just popping up everywhere, dude.
He is. It's just, I mean, honestly, that's a really nice circle. That stayed relatively, central, cut out a lot of the water, made it kind of secure it going to the north, the zone going that way. So could be pretty good here. Francario crawling around. Looks like he may have dropped some things on the way. No helmet, no backpack. Don't know if he's throwing stuff on the ground or just happened to not have a backpack and got his helmet shot off. Tough spot for him, though. He will most likely not be picked up by the rest of Pro 100 as they are further to the east up the hill. We see Noxious moving in just south of them. Crispy or Mr. TV, Kavorka, and Rixkanas.
All right, well, let's see what's going on over here. two teams. This looks like a 3 versus 3. Yeah, okay, both teams are down 1, so it's a 3v3. Tomil in the point spot. He can do a tremendous amount of damage at this point to Shade, but he only hits the shoulder, and oh no, tries to go back behind the yellow crate, but both of them get downed instead. Simsy of Doom, the last player alive, will be able to get up his team Ultra, but I think that this might be curtains closed for their two teammates.
Yeah, this is tough. There's no real way to go get Tomo and Luxno out of this. They will have to back off. This is Penta, you know, a team that's been doing really good, and that's it.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Huh. Yeah, he just runs off. I guess he thought that maybe no one was looking, or they wouldn't hit him. That was
method.
That's it.
That was method from the gas station. Moleman was able to get one of them, and then Avangar able to get the other, Simsy, and that's it. Penta eliminated, first team gone in this game.
That's surprising. That's surprising. What is that? What does that mean? I mean, they need some healthy performances.
Well, yeah, Penta's one of those teams right now sitting at 6. They're looking to get into the top 3. They're looking to get into the money. They're most likely secure for Showdown. They've played so well in split number 1. But right now they're just outside of winning the split 1 money, trying to grab a little bite of that $5,000. So Penta, obviously they want to place good. They want to play good. It's unfortunate to see them go out so early, but they're still feeling okay overall for split 1. They're just a team that's been so consistent that they're going to be a great team when we get into Showdown in split number 2.
Oh yeah, well we'll see, and we'll see what they do coming up later on. As the circle's updated, it's not as controversial as it could have been if it was like let the river split it in half. But here we have the large hill of Stalber in. And this is a really interesting area to play around. We see teams already a couple teams taking their place up on the hill. This is a hard hill to push up, right? So what do you think? Do you want to take Stalber this early? Do you think that's a good idea?
It's one of those things where Stalber's great. Holding down that hill, it's great for sightlines. That you have so much vision when you're looking to the west, and you can really keep an eye on where teams are rotating and even put out damage during that rotation. The problem is, later on in the game, when this zone gets smaller and there's players running all over the place on that side of the mountain, it's almost like everyone can see each other. Like, it's just one of those things where you're never out of the sightline of somewhere. There's no real good, safe places to hide. And it puts so much pressure on teams that you're very frequently fighting battles on 2, 3, or even 4 different fronts at the same time.
PJ making his way through. He needs to go all the way around here, or else we see he narrowly avoided some danger. But he'll get past. He'll get into the circle. Now the circle is about to come up. What do you want to see? Do you want to see Stalber, or the kind of the hilly flatlands to the west?
Oh, I'd love to see Stalber. I think my biggest issue with when you get towards where the center of the circle is now, over to the west of the Stalber Mountain, wide open. Compounds are incredibly strong in that area. If you're where Ataxia is or to the west, like Crimson has to be feeling great on this circle after it just popped off. Those compounds are so strong. I would worry about their 2-2 split here, because I do think that if you get a team of 4 pushing up on NBS and P-Boss here, it's going to be tough for Jambawe and Lockwood to kind of lend support. So I would worry about that split, but the location they're in is really, really good. I love it. Even Genside, they're in a great spot up north. Very uncontested right now, so it'll be a position that they can try and use to move into the later zones as they pop.
And there's so few safe locations, I think it's likely we'll see some compound crashing here, where teams will just go attack compounds and try to oust whatever residents are in it. So having the 2-2 split could be more dangerous than normal, where normally teams don't do the crashing, but in this particular circle, it sounds like a good idea, because there's not a lot of safe areas in this circle. As over here, we see 2 players go down. Mady, one of the key players of last game, who did a fantastic job, goes down very early on, as Timmy Z is staring down 4 players, all in a shack. Oh, where are you going, Robin? Timmy's looking right at the doorway.
Yeah, Finstack here being very patient. Shots were coming out on some players moving through the zone. They waited for the opportunity. As soon as the peek came out from team number 14 back from Zarka, they took the shot. But Timmy's does go down to Zarjin.
All right, but they'll be able to get that up. It's pretty, It's got to feel bad being this out in the open trying to go for a res, but it looks like they'll be safe. They got the player up, and now the question is, can back from Zarki, that's the team over there in the shack, can they get out?
It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough to move out of there, especially if Finstack decides to hold this one down. Finstack's holding a nice spot for cover, especially now that Severny is taken out. They don't really need to worry about teams pushing them from behind once this zone closes. And Team 14, back from Zarki, holding down that shack, just completely smothered right now. They need to be worrying. Here we see Liquid, actually, Jerpsy taking some shots in that direction. It'll be interesting to see where they rotate. They might have to crash a compound moving so late as the zone has started to move.
Yeah, I mean, Liquid, they're guaranteed for Showdown, but they aren't guaranteed for the cash prize, so they really need to do well. They had a rough game number 1. They can't drop it for game number 2, so I'm looking forward to see what they do. Mr. TV over here, grenade over. That looked a little really short. Wow, that
looked a little weak.
Muscles were a bit weak on that one.
Yeah, that was strange. It looked like he did it right, and then it just kind of lobbed out. It's like, that's a tough one.
Well, the kill was gotten anyway by one of his teammates. Over here, on the side, Team Noxious, yet again. I mean, there's still 4.
Yeah, still 4 holding down the east. They're in a pretty good location. They have Spet Gaming pushing on top of them. Might have to take care of Spet, but they could be in a good location, especially to move into this zone. If they need to move to the west, they do need to worry about Method, so that could be a little bit of an issue. But I like how Noxious is playing this. Here we see Finstack. They did go clean this one up. We talked about being in the shack was a dangerous situation for back from Zarki, and it looks like Finstack went in, cleaned it all up, got the kills, got the loot. So Finstack now securing the western side as much as they can before this new zone pops.
All right, well, we're going fast and furious with the circles now. The first circle, the first 2 circles, they give the team some time to set up, but these last few circles are really going to push our teams and make some moves. Over here, we have Rust and Mar, the only player left on his team. He's in the circle, and he needs to find a way to get around. Looks like there's a 4-man squad right next to him.
Oh, wow.
Team Liquid.
And it's
Team
Liquid,
no doubt. Yeah.
That's a tough spot for Russenmar right now. Team Liquid just waiting for him. May know he's there, holding down that location just outside the circle. The new circle popped. It went fairly center, so Crimson has to be feeling good once again. Crimson, at a certain point, I'm worried. I still think they need to group up here. I am a little worried that we're going to have some teams. We're going to have Finstack moving in that direction, Liquid moving in that direction. If too many teams push on them at one time, they could be in trouble, as we see Scoom trying to wrap the mountain here to get at some sort of method to get into the zone.
We still have 13 teams alive, so the next few teams that die aren't going to be very happy with their performance. We still have a chance for many teams to go out with very few points. This next circle is very, very important. You have to stay alive through this one.
Absolutely. 100% agree. Ataxia over here on the east. Right in front of them, Exalt Gaming, kind of gatekeeping them into the zone. But Cup of Magic does go down right away, so get one quick kill. So that'll help their travels here. If you're Ataxia, you got to be feeling a little bit better about moving into this zone now that you've taken one out.
Yeah, Ataxia, they've had great shots this game. And the previous game they didn't do too shabby either. So let's see how well they can do moving forward. Like I said, still 13 teams alive. You really need to get through this next circle. You can't be one of the teams that goes down. Breaks kill right now. He's very split off from his team, but he has that angle. He could potentially do a lot of damage to Ataxia. Look at the east, man. There's so many players so close to each other. Something's going to go down pretty soon. And Liquid's still not in.
Yeah, absolutely. Vivictus and Exalt right now are gatekeeping both Ataxia and Spet Gaming. So both those teams are going to have to fight their way in. Liquid now pushing up, trying to get into the circle, and it looks like they have a little bit of a route here. The shots are coming out onto Samty and Ibiza, but they may be able to get to the shack. It looks like they will. They will hop out, hide behind the vehicle. Yeah, Crimson here trying to put the pressure on. They need to defend this the best they can. Teams are getting closer and closer every time this circle pushes in.
Looks like they'll be using their vehicles for cover, but that means that they can't use them later on. I mean, unless they get lucky and no one destroys their vehicles, this might be it for their fleet of UAZs. The east is where it's really going to light up now. Looks like everyone in the west got in. But man, oh man, we have Ataxia, we have Spec Gaming, who over here, well, Udyr Mayfire is going to open it up already.
A lot going on here on the east. They're being so patient, Ataxia. They're waiting. They're using the blue. No rush to get into the zone, staying right at the wall as it's moving in, taking every second that they can to try and clear this one out. The problem is they're moving a little bit further to the north, and now they have two teams to worry about. It is no longer just Exalt. They've moved into the range of Vivictus, so if they try to move west here, you see Sipik, you see Kamka right there holding down these small little huts. And that is where Lix is going to have to move. They have nowhere else to go.
They have nowhere else to go. The circle's pushing in right now. It hurts too much to stay inside of it for too long, especially once it clicks. They need to just push through and force their way. They have to go up against two different teams of 3 players, and the blue isn't helping them. In fact, the blue, it warps your aim a little bit, so it's a bit harder to shoot out of it. Still, Grubsy gets a nice down into Breaksico to open it up, but he's already lost 2 teammates. I don't think he can do it. It's going to be rough.
All alone. Yeah, this is really tough. It's very important that he got that down, but now he's in a position of a 2v1, assuming that he is not seen by Vivictus at all. If he is, then it's actually a 5v1, which could be a lot of problems, but he is going to the north here. He's going to try and slip in. It looks like he found a little bit of a location. He gets in, he gets prone, he meds up. Grubsy should survive for a little bit. But look at this new zone, and look at Crimson. Crimson, I love you guys. They grouped up as soon as the new zone popped up. They're all holding down the center compound now together. They will let Liquid take the warehouse to the southwest. I love the movement by Crimson. I was waiting to see when they would do it, and it looks like they chose the optimal time. So great decision by them. You have to be feeling good if you're Crimson right now. Looking really, really good in this game. Center location, and all 4 members still alive.
You know who's feeling less good? I think it's our poor sandwich buddy back there. Oh, we have a crate. Someone's going to get it, totally. It's an
that's a good one.
Oh, my God. Oh, my gosh.
That's
that is
stacked.
I mean, it's dangerous to get. Someone might. We might see team number 7 here, Vivictus, get it, but I don't know. Grubsy, though, man, Grubsy, he is really Grubsy right now. He's looking like a grub.
If I'm Grubsy, I'm not moving at all. I'm letting these teams get out and fight. They all have to move. They will move before him. Just, crouch walk, use the blue, take your time, throw some smoke. Keep a low profile as much as you can moving into the zone. Just try and slip in. Liquid here, they're in a great position now holding down the southwest. That has all been cleared out. All those teams have been taken care of for the most part. So Liquid in an optimal position here. 11 teams alive. We see the shots coming out. Liquid just having a field day. Scoom taking his time, taking the shots, just putting the pressure on other teams on the other side of the zone, trying to rotate it.
Oh my gosh. Well, we saw Ataxia wipe a squad in the kill feed, so it looks like they're doing pretty well. And Liquid is in a safe position as well as also. But still, the circle is not very nice to these Eastern teams. They need to make their way in. Grubsy, he did a ton of work. He got like 2 or 3 kills over there all by himself, but now he's still strung out to dry as Spet Gaming takes their vehicles in.
Yeah, absolutely. Method under a lot of pressure as Chris does go down to NBS. Of Crimson just holding down the king of the hill right now, being that team. As we see Genside Kalank coming up against Noxious. He is taken down right away. Mista and Crispier and Kavorka all moving in. Andrew's down as well. It's all up to Vic now, who is deep in blue.
What was Vic doing? He was maybe chillaxing in the gas station, filling up his car. But he didn't make it into the circle in time. He probably would have been dead anyway, but the circle will wind up being the main cause of his death. Who do we still have outside? We have actually that's Exalt Gaming in the southeast. That's team number 12, who's just barely edging their way in. I don't know if Mista and Kavorka up in the north can make their way in. That's Team Noxious. This is an important game for them, and this might be it if they can't find a safe haven.
Yeah, it's a tough push. It's all up to Kavorka now as Mista does go down. He will try and sneak into the zone. He's going to run right into Andy of Method. Could be tough, but he is in the zone. I would prone take my time right now. Med up. Pop a little stim or 2. Grubsy somehow still alive, about 200 miles away from the circle. He will make no effort to get in. I do appreciate that. The zone is favoring Crimson once again, holding down a good spot. They did group up. They have to be feeling good. And they take out Andy of Method. So Method now eliminated as Grubsy was as well. So Taxia will take 8th. Method will take 7th.
All right, down to the last 6 teams. So all of these teams at this point are, they have an okay position, but they want to go for gold. They want to get that top 3, top 2, maybe even first place. Crimson looks like it's in a great position right now, up on top of the hill.
Yeah, it could be one of the best pushes I've seen from Crimson here. On the last day, they're going to get so many points. They're already in such a good position. They jumped so much in game number 1. Game number 2, they have to be feeling good. Just picked up Jambawe, so all 4 is still alive. They did take a down there. Team number 12, once again, that's Exalt on the east. They're trying to move into the zone. They're going to have a tough push. They will fight Avangar here, taking down Shade and Mimino, and then they're going to have to move right on top of Crimson.
Well, here we go. Crimson, like I said, they're the kings of the hill. They're actually looking good to take it all and maybe even take first place. Let's see if they can hold it down. They can see out in the distance, that's Team Finstack, team number 1. Let's see how much damage Lockwood can do, because he's certainly looking. He needs to be careful, though. He's outside the house. He's outside the safety. Oh, just 2 shots. That's all he needs. Just 2 shots. See you later, Seek. Lockwood doing a great job putting tons of pressure on this team to the north.
Yeah, and everyone needs to keep an eye on the movement of Liquid down in the southwest. They're letting Crimson do all the work. They're securing a spot in this zone. They're moving further past the warehouse. Liquid's going to put themselves in a position to win this game after Crimson goes through this giant fight. And look at that. Just like that, they take out Lockwood.
Oh, man. Crimson needs to be careful. Like I said, poking out is dangerous. Brexico pushes up with 0 HP, and now it's literally 0, as NPS will take him out. And all right, Crimson, looks like they'll be able to get up that 1 member, so they'll still stick with 4. But that was a bit rough. Still, they're going to stabilize. They still have 4 up on the hill.
A lot of pressure coming onto Crimson there. They were able to hold it down. I'm very impressed by the way they've done this. Keen from Avangar will go out, and that will be your 5th place team. And now it's down to just 4, and they're all pretty big squads. Finstack still has 4 members. Liquid still has 4 members. Crimson still has 4 members. And team number 12, Exalt Gaming, down to 2.
Well, our big players here are Finstack up here. We're specking it right now. We still have Team Liquid down in the southwest, who are doing a great job, and of course our Kings of the Hill. Let's see if any of these other teams can maybe make their way in as well. But those are the 3 teams I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting zone, and it goes to Liquid.
Wow, what a swing! Liquid has the circle. This could be exactly what they need. If Liquid takes first in this game with a lot of kills, you know, that's a big start. Pybus takes out 1, but gets traded out immediately. Crimson, they need to get him up real fast because they need to move.
Yeah,
they
Finstack
can't languish around.
Finstack and Crimson are going to be the first fight. They're going to cannibalize one another, trying to move south into the zone. Liquid trying to take care of Exalt right now, clean that up. Jambawe goes down as well. Crimson is under a lot of pressure. Finstack with some great shots so far. And then Samty taking out Chronic. So team number 12, Exalt, almost eliminated. Liquid's going to be in a great position here, Skyline.
Those windows, man, just don't look at them, dude. Don't look at them. It's bad luck. Crimson still has all 4 up, so they're still in it. They're very tenacious. They've been able to keep stable, but it's looking bad now as 1 more goes down through the window. Man, stop looking. And they have pushing on them 3 players from Finstack. Let's see what they can do. Jerpsy peeks out just in time to catch 2 players shooting at him, and now we're just down to 1. It's Seek.
Liquid could have been patient here. They could have waited for these teams to fight it out, but they're not. They're taking every down they can possibly grab. They're putting as much damage on both of these teams while they fight to weaken it as they approach. Liquid has put themselves in a position to win this game. All 4 members still alive right now. Finstack and Crimson right on top of each other. Jerpsy and Seek, the last 2 remaining members. Peepa's here. What does he do? He pushes out. He looks and tries to clear it up. He gets Jerpsy.
Nice. Really nice, and then with the help of NBS, they'll finish it off. So Pybus, really great, opening that up with a quick headshot to finish it off. But now they're up against Liquid, and they're not in the circle. Liquid, Team Liquid, looks like they might be able to take it, but still, they're up against a full 4-man squad of Crimson. I don't know how they're still 4-man, but they have some serious resurrect game, I've got to say. Look at Liquid, all spread out.
Yeah, this is such a tough zone. This is such a tough zone to push into. Liquid took the opportunity to get set up in such a fantastic way. You see the smokes coming out. That's going to be their only real method, but the frags are going to put so much damage out. Peepas goes down. Jambawe goes down. NBS, and that's it. All 4 members of Crimson. Wow.
It's Liquid just held their grenades for the entire game. You know, we must wait for the correct moment. And then, boom. Jeez, they just got bombed on. Do they call it an airstrike? Do they get a kill streak or something? Is that a new feature? Well, anyway, guys, Team Liquid goes from a tepid performance in game number 1 to really on point, on the ball, dominating in game number 2. Not as many kills as we're used to seeing on Liquid, but 10 certainly not shabby.
Yeah, 10 kills for Liquid, 10 for Crimson, 8 for Finstack. Those 3 teams, great performances, all holding down their different part of the zone. I think the Liquid rotation was so important, the way they moved. They were patient. They waited for the blue. Crimson moved their 2 players out of the warehouse into the compound right away, and Liquid capitalized on that. They took a dominating area in the zone and were able to risk where the circle went. It shows Liquid, and they defended it oh so well, being extra aggressive towards the end of the game. Huge win for Liquid. Definitely setting the standard for first place in split number 1 right now, and 2 more games to go for them. They can even capitalize even further.
It's been exciting. It's really interesting. Now with Liquid taking first place again, it's back to the others. It's back to our other top 3, top 4 teams to really try to kick into the gear for our last 2 games. Don't go anywhere, guys. Our last 2 games are going to decide not only who gets the Crash Prize, but also who gets to stick around for our second split of Showdown. So make sure you check it out. We'll see you in game number 3. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the PUBG Online cooking episode, where we teach you how to, cook some stuff here in the kitchen. And man, that's a gas stove. We got some cups. Look at those cute polka dotted cups. Anyway, guys, my name is Skyline. Joining me today is Jabroni Bro, here in the kitchen.
here in the kitchen. That's a
Here in the
gross
kitchen.
kitchen, man. That is a nasty kitchen, let me tell you.
It is. It's bad.
And definitely needs some. It's been a while since anyone has lived on this island, clearly, and actually used a kitchen. But yeah, we're back. Game number 3 right here for EU.
Wait.
What?
You're right. That's a good point. That's good. 1963.
1963.
And now,
That's the date.
this seems a bit early. 1960. That means that because UAZs didn't exist in 1963, like that high quality.
No. I think they're saying that like the last time this was used was 1963.
1963.
You know what I mean?
Oh, all right. Interesting.
We're all learning something. So the Arangel map was last occupied by human beings in 1963. You heard it here first. And yes, it is game number 3. So we had 2 great first games. Spet Gaming winning game number 1. Huge for them, trying to get to that top 16. Team Liquid setting the standard in first place, winning game number 2. They are the team to beat right now. So all those teams, tomorrow we actually have the 4 teams that were 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We'll all be playing tomorrow. And it's going to be a game of can we catch Liquid? That's what it's going to be. But Liquid here, they were already 100 points ahead, and then they grab another win, 10 kills. They have to be feeling pretty good. The plane is on its way from dead center of the military base up to the northwest. It looks like it's heading right for Zarky.
Yeah, this is our team. This is their team. This is these teams' last chance today to get their scores settled before we head into the second split. So this is, like we've been saying, a big day. Now, this plane, it's pretty far to the west. It's going up towards Georgia Pole. So if you like Georgia Pole, you like this plane. I'll tell you that much. If you like Kameshki, can't say that for you so much.
Yeah, very importantly though, Skyline, I just got word. If we can just close the map for a second. This is actually correct. This calendar, we've looked it up. February 1st, 1963 was indeed a Friday. So in case you wanted to know if it was 100% historically accurate, that's what our production decided to do. As we looked at the map there, they decided to Google that one for us. So it is 100% confirmed.
That's some due diligence on the part of the artist. So big props to Mr. Calendar Artist.
PUBG calendar artist guy.
Yeah.
+1 for you, sir. Very, very important.
But
yeah,
all of our sits there making calendars all day.
He just makes PUBG calendars. But yeah, we see Avangar spread around Georgia Pole a little bit with Wind and Rain. Both those teams jumping in that area. It's been a tough day for Wind and Rain so far, and it has been. Avangar was part of the problem in game number 1. Wind and Rain is a team needing points. They are team number 4. You see War, Rustinmar, Wick, War, Cheese Doodles. Keep an eye on this team. They're a team right on the cusp right now. Cheese Doodles and the squad. Cheese Doodles especially, I've actually called out a couple times on some wild shots, some wild sniping shots in split number 1. Really good job when it comes to combat. Some nice highlights coming out of that team. So I would love to see them in split number 2, but they're right on the cusp. They need some points, and it's been a tough 2 days. Look at this beautiful circle. Nice and center.
Dang.
Everybody gets to play.
Jeez, that is as center as it gets. I can't imagine it any other way. So, yeah, this is about as fair as it gets as well. All of our players, in fact, whoa, look at that. That's some early crossing over. Breaksco decides that he'll get some an early head start, maybe in Milta or something like that. Crab 1K is already around either. And so, yeah, this is a pretty early exodus, especially as we're seeing almost the entire team here for Team Pro 100. That's team number 6, making their way out of Military Island very early. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it was one of those situations where we actually had 4 or 5 teams jumping for the military island, and that's a lot. I mean, you get one in Novo, which we see Noxious there. We get Spet Gaming right now on the main military base itself, and then Pro 100 they just bailed right away. They were like, all right, there's too many players here. I don't want to be a part of it. Exalt Gaming the same way. Both teams opting for vehicles and getting out as soon as they can. Obviously, I'm assuming we'll have one in Milta. And then we'll have to see where Exalt ends up because they are the later push instead of Pro 100.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, Milta's got to be the place they have their eye on. They're going to go there. Actually, if you take a look, Grishka Power drove his team all the way to Milta Power. I mean, that makes sense. We should have thought that would have happened.
And they actually have Crab 1K split further to the west of Milta.
Oh,
looks like Cup of Magic is actually going that way too. They're all avoiding Milta because they just kind of assume somebody's there kind of interesting. They're all wrapping around through the beach.
That's so funny.
It's just one of
No
those
one
things
wants
that
it.
it's one of those things that happens in PUBG every single time. It's like we can't go there because they would go there, and then everybody thinks that, and nobody goes. And it's just like you see it all the time.
Oh man, who's gonna loot Milta though? I don't know. We'll see. They're driving around it, so maybe eventually they'll get comfortable enough to do it. But yeah, Pro 100 going towards Milta Power in that outlying areas. I mean, FaZe Clan from EU has proven how strong Milta Power is. So I mean, if you're gonna succeed from anywhere, you can't say that Milta Power isn't the place to be.
True. That's definitely true. And we see Liquid, they're doing the same. Indy has 9. I think it's one of those things where a lot of these teams, they're finding a place to go, and they're like, we can win from here. And it doesn't matter that we're here. It's about those rotations afterwards, right? We're going to get our loot. The loot's going to be fine. Everyone's going to have ARs. We multiply the ARs a little bit. Everyone's going to have helmets and vests and backpacks and some meds. And what we're going to do is we're going to worry about our rotations. That's why teams like FaZe, teams like Liquid, I mean, we saw it last game, Liquid's rotation late in the game. They were very patient until they decided we can win this, and then they were aggressive. And that's what's so important about those teams at the ultra high caliber is when they decide to move regardless of where they loot, and that's what's so important. So keep an eye on the rotation, the movement of those teams. You'll see sometimes they're passive, sometimes they're very aggressive, and it's all depending on the circle and where they think the other squads are.
Yeah, and Team Liquid, they did great last game, but they need to keep it up. I want to see one more solid game from them to make sure no one catches up tomorrow, as we have another 16 team coming. Take a look at the box, at the crate. We had an M24 with a scope. Hit some painkillers, why not? Give him he already has a level 3 backpack. But still, an M24, this weapon is potent, especially once you get to the... whoa, Jambawe. Jambawe wants it too, but this guy's got a micro Uzi. Watch out, the red smoke almost saved him, but I don't know. Jambawe, he's trying to drive away. He's not dead yet. Can Rax hit him with a micro Uzi from this far away? Jeez, that's some low damage. That's some weak micro Uzi damage there on the shoulder. That did nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say it hit him and did like 3% damage. That's pretty wild. But there's something to be said there. I actually want to point that out. Choosing to drop the Tommy gun and keep the micro Uzi. That shows you the opinion a lot of these players have of both of those guns. First of all, a lot of players do support the micro Uzi. It is a strong gun, incredibly fast fire rate for close range. It's difficult at range, but it's still slightly effective. Put out a lot of damage there. And everyone hates the Tommy gun. Like, that's just what it is. Like, the Tommy gun is... I mean, personal opinion, it's the worst thing that I could find in this game. I hate it every single time. I would rather have a micro Uzi every day of the week. So that shows you a little bit of a different opinion a lot of people have. Instead of having the big Tommy gun, you take the small micro Uzi. You can control it more. You feel a little better about it. So an interesting choice there. But no, was unable to get the kill. Here we are with Ultra jumping in, hopping in the warehouse, picking up level 3 helmet, AK, feeling pretty good.
That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice indeed. If we take a look at Penta, Penta's been a bit quiet today. Not like super weak, but they definitely have a couple of games to really come out very strong.
I'm sitting in 5th overall. They did jump 1 spot, grabbing some points while some other teams are off. But yeah, Penta had a tough break in game number 2 there, if I'm not mistaken. Right. But, hey, they're a really good team, and I think Penta's one of those squads that can always be a top 5 EU team.
Man, I think we lost Jabroni in a time warp there for a second because you cut out there. You disconnected. It's like you didn't even know. You just came right back.
Oh, well, yeah. Can you hear me now? Do I sound okay? Is everything fine?
Did any black holes come, maybe? Anything weird like that in the office? Maybe sucked you in, spit you back out? Are you the same Jabroni, or are you from a different dimension?
I'm pretty sure I might be the same me. Hopefully.
You might be. You have no way of knowing.
No, I wouldn't know. But hopefully that's all solved. But yeah, Ataxia moving around. Rozhok, north of Rozhok. Interesting rotation. Team number 14, that's back from Zarky. Talk about them a lot today. Very important day. They're split between Rozhok and this compound over here to the west that Ataxia is driving to. They have a huge day, and looks like they might be able to grab some kills here.
When you see that headshot right off the bat, you get scared, but it looks like they were able to get into the water, but man, are they looking low. Technically, if they were pursued right now, they would probably die. I don't know if Fawn and Robin want to pursue this. It looks like they don't, but they could, and they could kill these 2 players. So Ataxia, they will get out, just barely with their lives.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate. Had to bail on the UAC. The incredibly deep river now. That, not my favorite change. You know, you used to be able to drive across part of it in a Dacia, and it was a great feeling. You can't do that anymore because it's like a mile deep.
The game mechanics.
Yeah.
Innocutive takes some shots, lands a shoulder tap, I think, on Wick. That's about it. I think they'll be able to dip down beneath the rock and stuff. But still, Innocutive's all alone. He's just trying to really, puff up his feathers here.
That's what you got to do. You know, if you're in a 1v4 situation, just act like you're fighting. Sometimes the players will even switch guns, so it sounds like more than one person shooting. You know, it's like, all right, we'll shoot with the AK. Yeah. Boom, let's switch to the M16. Tap, tap, tap. There's definitely more than one player over here. Stay away, when in reality, they're all alone. So it's a really good job there by Innocutive, just doing whatever he can. Just act like you are a huge group of four and scare Wind and Rain away. Keep them in their compound away from you.
Yeah, the gimmicks, man, the gimmicks are always fun to see in this game. So, yeah, it looks like War is just going to chill out over here, not away from Innocutive. Where Innocutive's team is in Georgia Pole, by the way, way. So he just sort of reserved the seat here.
Yeah, we see it more and more. It's something the teams never used to do. Now, teams sending that scout, and it's supposed to do exactly what Innocutive is. Get there, shoot a lot, be scary, make sure nobody pushes on top of you. The rest of the squad will be there in a little bit, and we'll have a full four-man sitting in a nice location in the zone.
Okay, let's take a look. I think they'll be able to. I mean, it's not super dense, so they'll probably be able to rejoin up with their team pretty soon. But yeah, this is Team Avantgarde. I think it's a little bit too early to say who's really in a strong spot or not. Obviously, all of these teams near the center are in decent spots, but the circle could go anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this one could go south, and it could completely change the game 100%. Method with an interesting split. They sent two players north of the compound to the north compound above Pachinki, and they kept Fake and Moleman to loot further, try and see if they can find some of those little bit of extras, the silencers, the scopes, all those incredible things that sometimes these players skip out on to get into the zone earlier. And Vic kind of cruising around in that area, looking for a place to go, so he might pass Chris and Andy here. Could be in a lot of trouble. He's going to have to find a place to go.
Yeah, not there, for sure. Not there, and he wasn't really interested anyway. So he'll go out into the field. We're actually, we're seeing these teams get smarter and smarter, man. We see many more territorial things like we're seeing Method do. Now, Method, very weak game number 2. They've got to be on fire or hyping themselves up here for game number 3. Over here, just barely escaping with their lives. Crispier gets away in a vehicle with barely any HP with his teammate.
Yeah, Mr. TV and Crispier, it's Noxious once again. They need points. They are one of those teams doing whatever they can, clawing and scratching to pull themselves into Showdown. And, they've had an okay day so far, sitting at 20th. You got to get to 16th. At the end of today, you need to be top 16 to even have a chance. And then tomorrow, you need to hope that nobody passes you. So a lot of these players, you can't just get to 16th. You got to try and get to 12th, 11th, 10th, and then hope these 16 teams tomorrow do not run past you. It is very stressful for a lot of these players, but Noxious, they're doing their best. They've gone from 24th to 20th already today, so they've jumped 4 spots.
Over here, Tim Easy just going to ride right on by a bunch of players. Oh, don't slow down too much, man. Now, there are a lot of hills in this area that make it pretty safe for you to chill out and hide behind. He's going to peek Ultra, I think, in a second. He needs to be careful. Watch the head there. But, yeah, it won't connect, so Timmy will be safe for now. As we see, actually, Liquid gets a member knocked somewhere on the map. That's got to be rough.
Yeah, it's a scary location here when you get in the middle. Look at this new zone.
Yeah, I'll be able to get up. There is a new zone. It's a little bit further to the northeast, but man, oh man, Innocutive grenade over. Is that good? It looks pretty good. Oh my gosh, the rock, dude. The one little pixel of the rock stopped it. There's another grenade. Fake forcing Innocutive to move, so now he's looking in the right direction. But this is a straight up 1v1. Fake with a headshot. We'll finish it off cleanly, just like that. But he's still got other players putting pressure on him. He can't. Oh my gosh, Andy from behind. Method is going to tear up this team. Moving out the last one alive. I don't think he has a shot. Maybe he can take a kill with him before he goes. Not going to happen.
Avantgarde going out in 16th place. based solely on the location of Method and their movement. They pinched in right on top of Avangard. Fake was able to delay and do exactly what he was supposed to do in that situation. Take his time, stay alive, keep them distracted so Andy can move up behind with Chris, if I'm not mistaken, and put the pressure on. And they clean up Avangard. They will take 16th. Very well done by Method here.
Yeah, they didn't even take a single point of damage. That was as clean as it gets, guys. Just a clean 4-man wipe, and now we only have 15 teams left. So, for this circle, I don't know if team number 7 over there, Invictus Gaming, they need to find somewhere safe to stop. Looks like they're stopping at the hill. And they'll be okay here. But this place gets dicey when you need to leave it.
Yeah, we've seen a couple fights here. This exact little piece of Defilade fighting with the warehouse where we see Jerpsy and the rest of Finstack. It's one of those things. The Civic does go down to Zulul right away through the window. You can see him back there in the corner. That is a tough break so far, losing the helmet. It's a nice spot. You do have cover, but you're so close to this compound. There's really no way to avoid the fight if a team is here, and leaving can become incredibly dangerous. Slow-moving vehicles as you start trying to get away. A lot of pressure will be put on. And look, even Spet Gaming is shooting at them. And Method.
Oh, yeah.
And Ataxia. They are in a just awful spot right now.
Jeez. That's rough. I think I even saw them get a knock or get someone knocked or so. But they'll just have to sit there and hope that people forget about them eventually. Because they're not moving anywhere anytime soon, I'll tell you that much. Looks like our circle is mostly stabilized, and it's just in time, too, because we're about to get our next one. Let's see the box that no one's going to get.
Oh.
AWM with a suppressor for not the AWM for an AR, but you know it's sad to see that gun not be seen.
It is not a care package. It is a treasure chest, and it is sitting there with the gold of this game, the AWM. None of our players will be able to get to it. Very upsetting. Very sad to see an AWM go untouched and unused by one of these incredible players. You know, their shot looks a lot better than mine, so it's much better to spectate when they have a nice little AWM in their hand. And here we are once again with Noxious holding down a nice little hill. They're in the zone. They got to be feeling pretty good. All they need to do now is keep Exalt Gaming out and secure the eastern side. It's an interesting zone that we have here, Skyline. There's so much going on the map, so many different places while this zone is still only in its second phase. It is about to pop. So we'll see where we go. But look at this. School, Razhak, apartments, even a little part of Yasnaya, the fields. And we're going to stay east.
Not anymore. Not anymore. It's just east. As far east as you can go, basically. We have some apartments in, but it's lots of trees and wilderness. Lots of roads, too. You know, those roads can get scarier later on when you have to cross those, right? But there's a lot of inhospitable land in this area, so teams need to move fast. Liquid, you see, already getting this nice compound.
Yeah, very, very strong place to be for Ibiza right now. Liquid deciding to move early, like, all right, let's go grab it right away. Let's hold it down. GM, Samty, you see the rest of the squad. They're still holding up on top of the hill. So a little 3-1 split. We'll see if they all move. I would assume they all move down there. Here we are with Penta, Ultra, Luxno, and Simsy. Now, it's interesting the way this new zone is laid out. Up in the northwest, you have the apartments. You have these compounds that we're kind of looking at here with Tommel. That is very strong for the compounds. Not many trees, a lot of open fields. When you go to the southwest where you see Gentside, where you see Method, that is trees, it's hills. This is what you're looking at right here. This is this area, the southwest side of the zone. So a lot of teams are going to be able to hold this down and kind of move around. Tree-to-tree combat, a lot of cover.
Ooh, man, we're popping some popcorn here with all those gunshots. Mole Man goes down, and he's up. He's safe. Let's see if Andy can use this smoke to get. It's going to be very, very difficult, but he is fully shrouded now. 2 smokes will mean Andy's point of access is completely invisible. But you never know. Just some spam shots could take him out. Looks like he does get there in time, and Mold Man will be gotten up. But still, that's a lot of pressure coming from up the hill by them.
Yeah, that's a very important pick up there. Nicely done. Very patient with it. They didn't overextend. Fake's got to be careful, though, as he moves uphill a little bit, kind of expose himself. Nice shots. Puts the pressure on. Gentside having to close the door and back off a little bit. This is what you need to do sometimes. When you're under a lot of pressure and you're in trouble, you got to turn around, be extra aggressive. That's what Fake's doing here. He's like, okay, well, if you're going to peek, I'm going to shoot you. That's what's going to happen. Back off. Let us get out of here. He supports his team, as you see Andy and the rest of the squad kind of backing off, getting a more optimal location, a safer spot in the zone.
We've seen so many times teams get scared of the pressure and just try to run away, and they get picked off one by one, and they're all dead a minute later. So really great. I mean, Method didn't lose anyone there. They're still alive, and that was a really hard assault to stop by Gent's side. So really very good performance to keep them at full strength in the game.
And that's what you have to do. You have to make those decisions every now and then. If you get in a bad spot, the ultimate goal is escaping with as many members as possible. Now here we have Method actually running towards Unskilled. Unskilled going west, Method going east, and it looks like they will meet in the tree line here a little bit. Zarjan may have spotted one out. See a lot of directional arrows pointed at one another on the mini-map, so seem to be aware that the other squad is nearby.
All right, so we get the circle's about halfway closed in. We'll see in just a bit. This next one coming up is very important. This is the one that decides where the mid-game takes place. And hey, which side of the road are we going on too? Like I said before, these roads not easy to cross. They're basically just giant spans of nothing. It's very difficult.
Absolutely.
To not get shot from.
Yeah, as the zone gets smaller, the roads get scarier. That's just what happens every single time. As you lose area to move, every time a player crosses the road, he will be highlighted for everyone else on the map. As we see Elastics here, beautiful sunglasses, little care package dropping off in the distance. What a sight to behold. The zone is about to close, and look at all the teams that are just right on the border down to the southwest on the western side. A little out of control.
Yep. Ataxia just lost one member. That grenade, is he going to take out a second one? No, that was a bit of a short grenade as well. Yeah, I don't know.
Just weak throws, man.
They're a bit nervous. They got some rubbery arms, I guess. That one was pretty close, though, as Rax does take some damage from that grenade, and that's going to be it, because the play zone will take him out. We are in the blue right now, by the way. Hard to see, but we were in the blue. So the play zone's all that's going to be needed to finish him off. Grubsy, whoa, right out of the vehicle. He just gets ripped out. Oh, by the play zone. By the play zone again. Okay, he just barely got out in time. Play zone wrecking Ataxia right now. Their biggest enemy.
Yeah, this is just absolutely brutal. All these squads. You see Spet Gaming, you see Ataxia, you see Finstack all on the western side. Wind and Rain trying to get through the apartments. On the east, this fight is finally happening. Noxious taking shots right now at Exalt Gaming, trying to keep them out of the zone. They're right in front of each other, though. Brexco was able to get up with a teammate. So this is very, very dangerous as you have Chronix here kind of peeking the ridge, looking for a shot, looking for a down to push this one forward.
Chronix can do terrible, terrible damage right now. He just peeks over and he gets the right angle. He's in a good spot to do it, but he's being cautious and safe. Now they are in the white at this point in time, so they have some time to work it and to do something. Their teammates are further behind them, so they're in a bit more danger. But Breaksco and Chronix, they need to do something, or else I don't think their two teammates can cross. Yeah,
it's one of those situations where Chronix and Breaksco really have to get it down here, get a knock. They did get one. As we see, Kavorka is actually down right now, so that may open up the rotation for Udemy-Fire. Udemy-Fire actually getting the down. He's going to push up now. It's a great opportunity. Once they get the knock, take this opportunity, get in. Nice grenade, almost taking out Mr. TV.
Yep, that was a lot of damage. Mr. will have to heal up right now, and he won't be at full anymore. That really matters for these 1v1 gunfights. We can see a lot of teams trying to make their way around the map, but this fight looks like it's about to come to a head. Chronix, can he find Mr.? No, not quite. Not enough of an opportunity, but they've really laid off the pressure. I've got to say, Udyr Mayfire on a much wider angle. Whoa! Headshots to Ristnas. What's the head there when Udyr's aiming at you? Breaksco gets the finishing blow on that one for the down. Grenade over, really far over. I don't think it's going to make it, though, as Kavorka and Mista Crispier just keep falling back. They keep getting pressured back. Such great pressure here from Exalt Gaming.
Yeah, Exalt has pushed this so well. They got a knock. They moved forward. They all got into the zone. Now they're putting the pressure on. Kavorka's down. And all of a sudden, it's a 4v2. Crispier trying to back off and stay alive. They're going to have to abandon Kavorka here. Mista and Crispier going to have to try and play this one out as a duo if they can escape, but the pressure is on. Chronix now sprinting forward, keeping this fight alive.
Oh, man. This is what we were talking about before. You just keep running away under pressure, and eventually, that's it. They're out of there. Noxious is down and out in 11th place, but still now we have Method here from the west making their way up, and they're going to have the high ground advantage in just a second when they peek over this hill a bit. And maybe, yeah, also they need to worry about the pressure from other angles as well. But Method, if they take this fight, they'll have control of the entire northeast. They could also just leave it, though.
Yeah. Absolutely. It was really unfortunate there for Noxious. They tried to back away, and it was a 4v2. They were at a disadvantage, and then Method comes from behind. They take out Mr. TV and just clean it up. Now Method, being the aggressors, onto Exalt Gaming, pushing forward, keeping them back, pushing them further and further to the north, so Method can claim as much ground as possible. The frags are coming out. They won't connect, but they will keep Exalt on their heels, and that's what's important here for Method.
And what's even more important, the circle is important for the entire game as it goes pretty far to the northwest. Liquid has a way in, but yeah, looks like the end is going to have to happen here in the south. Lots of battles are popping up. In fact, Liquid, we're going to jump to them right now. Up against Crimson, it's a 3 versus 4. Let's see who comes out on top. Liquid, like we said before, great fraggers, but I don't know if they can stand up against the full 4-man force of Crimson. They lose one, and BS is looking pretty much in danger as well. I don't know. Yep, there we go. He's going to finally go down, but Jambalwe and his teammate Lockwood from the west, from the left-hand side, is going to be able to take down one player. Liquid has players from the north and south sandwiching in, and Crimson is just down to one. It's Lockwood.
Abiza's going to clean this up right now easily. No problem. Crimson fully eliminated. They did get 2 knocks there onto James, onto Samty. So they turned it around. They almost got out of that one, but it's Ibiza from behind, moving from the compound we saw him at earlier. He will clean up Crimson. Crimson now eliminated in 10th place. A tough break for them. Liquid will still have all 4 members alive. A nice 3v4 for Liquid. They're able to fight that one off until Ibiza was able to get behind Crimson and finish it off. So very well done by the threesome of Samty, James, and Scoop.
In the meantime, while that was happening, Method continued to push on Exalt Gaming. They took out one already with your Mayfires down. It's just up to Chronix now. He's the only player left at full health as Breaksco has to fall back a little bit more and heal at some point. Chronix has to go up against the full force of Method, and all of these players need to make their way into the circle zone.
Yeah, absolutely. None of these players are in right now. They have to move on to Pro 100 that has the compound. That's why it's so important. You really got to get out of this fight as soon as possible. You have to finish it off. You have to get the kills. You have to get your squad ready to go, get the smokes, and get in zone. Method still has one player in front of them from Exalt that they need to clean up. After they do that, take care of the one in the north, and then get in the zone to get past Pro 100. And that's going to be tough because they have to cross the road.
Anymore, and Breaksco gets caught from over the hill by Mole Man. All we have left is Chronix. Now these smokes might shroud him. He's also prone. Let's see if he can nail an easy one off of Method. Oh, he just barely finds Andy, who's knocked down. I don't think he's getting back up. Can he find Fake as well? Yes, he can. Chronix takes 2 out of Method. That's a huge blow to them. They can't resurrect those players either. It's now just down to Mole Man and X-Chris to make their way through the rest of the game.
Yeah, the good news for them is they stayed north as far as they could, so they may be able to use the hill. The problem is Liquid is in the way, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Team 13, that's Team Liquid now taking shots at the 2 remaining members of Method. So Mole Man and Chris are in trouble. Chris does go down to Arcway from Pro 100. It'll be all be up to Mole Man right now with James right in front of him.
Mole Man is not quite in. I think he needs, yeah, I think if he goes even slightly up, he's in danger. Mole Man does get taken out. That's going to be it. They take 6. Look at this Gypsy with Kylank right around the side. He had no clue.
Holding down the same tree.
Just a peaceful tree. Who would have thought?
All right, so let's take a look at the zone here. We have Liquid on the eastern side. They're taking shots back and forth with Pro 100. They're not in the zone. They need to move across the road. Team number 16, Penta, we've talked about them time and time again today. They are going to hold the zone. They're in the best position. They have the only building inside. They do have the west all to themselves. They have a little care package there for cover. They're going to try and spread out on this one, get nice locations, and defend as the rest of these squads move in. We still have a couple members from Finstack to the south, and then on top of that, we do have one from Gent side still alive, which I believe is Andrea. No, it's Kylank, actually. That's still alive. That was behind the tree there. That took out Jerpsy.
Kylank can hold this. These 2 players making their way in. Kylank can actually hold this and stay alive for a little bit longer. He can give Gentside some more points, so we'll have to see what he can do once the smoke fades. We have a lot of teams already having made themselves to the edge, but they just need to push in a little bit. Liquid needs to push in a little bit. We also see team number 6, Pro 100, needs to push in a little bit. So really, this edge is dangerous.
Yeah, this is a tough push for pretty much everybody. I mean, even Penta can't go center zone because center zone is just a low open field. Francario tried to push in with a vehicle. Look at Scoom creeping up right now in Pro 100. He's going to use this time to cross the road. they have some trees. Liquid might be able to get in a decent spot here in zone. As you see, Ibiza uses the vehicle, gets inside, takes some shots over at Arcway. Pro 100 in a lot of trouble. Has no idea where that one's coming from. Goes down. Grishka Power going down as well. It's all up to Francario for Pro 100.
Jeez, Pro 100 down to just one more player, and yeah, these UAZs once again, Liquid uses them so well to make themselves these little forts here. Francario, like we said before, the last player of Pro 100, he is pretty safe, you know, pretty isolated over here by himself, but he has to heal up, and he's way on the edge and alone. I think that here the two main contenders are of course Team Liquid, and we have across the way Penta Esports, and they both have full 4 members.
This is a fear for those teams in the South. You need to hope that somehow Penta and Liquid take each other out as much as possible. If you're Finstack and you're down in the South, or you're Kylang and you're down in the South, and that's it. Okay, so everybody else is dead, actually.
Yeah, no, forget about them. We don't have too much thinking power to think about them.
Yeah,
so
they all got cleaned up pretty quick.
Luxno gets down by some nice shots from Samty, meaning Liquid is up 1 player already. Like I said before, they needed one more strong game to really, really be confident, and this might be it. They could be taking first place. They just need to land a couple more nice shots, because I think one more down, which will put them in a 4v2 situation, might be all they need to take this. Still, it's down to 1 team versus 1 team, and Liquid has the circle.
Yeah, I love the movement there by Ibiza. He pushed up to that tree, kind of being extra aggressive once they got the knock and kill. They were like, all right, we're going to take the zone now as soon as we did this. So now Liquid just in complete control. They held the middle of the last zone, and the new zone favors them. Penta in a lot of trouble. I'm not even sure how they moved through this. Maybe hopping in a vehicle and just running for it, but that just seems so impossible with 4 teammates of Liquid all focus firing on it. So I'm not sure how this one's going to go. Ultra looking for a shot onto Ibiza, gets some nice damage.
Wow, that was close. If Ibiza was just poked out a little bit more and exposed his head, that could have been it. But let's see here. Penta just needs to march up, just like slowly advance and just land the headshots. They need to get some frags here. They can't keep going up against 4 players, and that's a good start. More damage onto Skoom.
How do they move into the zone? This is brutal if you're Penta.
I mean, they're not. They only have a few more seconds to figure it out before the circle starts to move in. Looks like a million smoke grenades.
Yeah, throw them all, Ultra. Throw them all, man. Let's go. I don't know what else to do. I think that's the only option they have. It looks like the smokes are going to give them a lot of cover, from Jeems at least, but Ultra goes down right away.
Yeah, a lot of them are pretty ineffective, those smokes. You know, well, even though you throw a million smokes, you have to throw them in a million correct places for them to really matter. We're just down to 1 more member here for Team Penta. It's going to be Simsy. He has enough time to get up his teammate, as we see random shots to the smoke. But Liquid is looking good to take first place here. They need to pull out a miracle. What can Ibiza do?
That is scary. I'm terrified if I'm Penta right now. Random shots going through. Towel goes down once again to Ibiza. It's all up to Simsy once again, even though he did get the res. Yep, prone. Snake.
That's it. Liquid takes first place.
Again. That is just, I mean, Liquid, they look so good.
Like Liquid. This is more the patented Liquid game of 18 kills.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, just 18 kills. And it's almost like early in the game, I didn't feel like, you know, Liquid was popping off or doing anything crazy, you know what I mean? I was just like, all right, they're moving into the zone, they're playing it safe. Then you see the fight with Crimson, and all of a sudden it just turns on. And it's like Liquid just rolling through everyone as they move. They were in such a tough spot on the other side of the road. And that's what we were talking about. We were talking, how does Liquid move into the zone? How do they get across the road here? And they just do it. They just move across. They extra aggressive. Ibiza goes up. He grabs the vehicle. He brings it to a tree. He gets a nice spot. And then they play off that. And they play it off so well, nice and spread out, cleaning up all the players in the South, then putting the pressure on Penta. Throw the 50-50, get the zone, and you're feeling pretty good if you're Liquid right now. 2 wins, and they have to be so far in first place. I don't know if any of these teams are going to be able to catch them today or tomorrow.
I think that they clinched it, man. I think that Liquid is looking very strong. There's a lot of strong teams tomorrow, so we'll never know. But Liquid, they're not even done yet. They have 1 more game. They can keep pounding that lead even further. And that being said, for the players more close to the 16, 14, 15th place, ish place range, they only have 1 more game to prove themselves. This is their last chance to play before Split 2, and this is their last chance to prove that they can get into Showdown.
And here's what's so important, Skyline, all right? So I'm looking at here, I'm looking at the leaderboards, and I'm looking at the kills and trying to figure out, which teams have the most kills. So you have Tenor Gold with 108. They're looking great so far this season. 105 for Penta. They're looking really good. 107 for Avangar. They've been fantastic. 94 for Method, and it's like, all right, all these teams looking good. And then it's like, oh, how about Liquid? Liquid right now, 148 kills. Jeez. They lead by almost 40 kills. On top of that, they have more wins than any other team. They have more points. They are so far ahead. It is absolutely insane. Before this game, they were 300 points ahead of Quick Math, who is our second place team, and they just won again.
So now they're like a little over 500 points ahead now, so Quick Math, they might have just, if they do a decent placement this time around, they will have clinched it 100% the first place.
Yeah. I if I'm not mistaken, Liquid has had not today, but day one of PUBG Online Split 1, they have the most points by any team ever, and it was just over 500. So after this game, they should be almost 500 points ahead, meaning that if Quick Math, who is probably the only team that could possibly catch them, wants to catch them, they're going to need 4 wins with roughly 20 kills each tomorrow. So,
jeez. Yeah, good luck. Yeah, good luck. That's hard. That's hard to do, especially we have some great teams playing tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, the best part is, you want to know what's amazing? Quick Math is actually off tomorrow. They already have 20 games played. So we can go ahead and say that's a clutch, because the team that has to play is Havu Gaming is the next one, and they are already 600 points behind Liquid. So
all right. So
I think with that game, that is clinched first place overall in split number 1 for Liquid for EU.
There you go, guys. That's some exciting news.
We still have one more game, but
we still have one more game. We still have one more game. And this one's important for all of our teams trying to make it into showdown, because a lot of them are close, and winning this next game is so important. Or maybe Liquid will just style on everyone. Just style on them. Just style on them. All right, guys, stick around. Game number 4 is coming right up. You're not gonna want to miss it. everyone, and welcome back to the fourth and final game, and the final game for the final game for this group of players in EU for the first split of PUBG Online. My name is PUBGOnline. Joining me today is Jabroni, and well, Liquid looking like they got first place probably, but we still have a lot of teams with a lot to fight for.
Yeah, so here's the current situation. I'll just lay it all out for everyone. All of these teams here today will play this next game, and they will be done for Split 1. Meaning, whatever their points are, that's where they end. They cannot get any more points. They do not play tomorrow. Tomorrow, 16 more teams will come in. They will play. They will rack up their points. And at the end of that, we will have our top 16. They'll be heading into Showdown. Right now, that number 1 team overall is Liquid. It looks pretty clear. No one's going to be able to catch them. They're roughly 600 points ahead of the closest team that can actually catch them. So if Havu Gaming shows up tomorrow, they get 4 wins. They get 25-ish kills per game. Then they will catch Liquid. However, I don't think that's a realistic thing.
That's if Liquid gets last place with 0 kills this game?
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much how that one would go. But there are tons of teams here. This is their last opportunity. They're sitting right on the cusp. They're right around, let's say, 10 to 16th place right now, and they need points. They need to secure their spot in Showdown. And tomorrow, everyone's going to be watching. We're all going to be sitting here. We're going to be looking. We're going to watch the points rack up for the teams playing tomorrow. And it's going to be who takes those spots, who gets booted down to the 17, the 18, the 19, and doesn't get in, and who gets into the 16, the 15, the 14, and does get in. So a lot of teams still playing for a lot here. To name a few, Wind and Rain, they're right on the cusp right now. Spet Gaming, they had a win in game number 1. They could potentially jump into that top 16. Noxious, right on the border. They're very, very close. Gentside, they fairly secure right now. They were 9th before the day started. Back from Zarky, Crimson Esports, all these teams right on the cusp. They need points. They need a big final game here.
Well, let's see. The plane is out. Everyone's out of the plane. We have Spec Gaming taking over the entire military island, while Ataxia takes over all of Stalber. Ataxia again in Stalber. This looks like their spot.
I love it. I mean, I absolutely love that they keep going up there. If you're uncontested, you move over to Kameshki, the Stalber area, you loot there, and then you rotate late into the zone if it's not in favor of you. I don't mind the play at all. I actually really do appreciate it. It's kind of weird, though. This lobby of EU, if I'm not mistaken, Simsy of Doom actually getting Zenta, an early kill onto Zenta there, wow. So that will be the first one eliminated. That may have been a fist fight, too, which makes me happy. Oh, no, I think he ran him over with a car. That makes more sense.
Yep. There it is, right there.
The Dacia inside the building tells you a lot.
Jeez, that's feels bad. Look at that detailed interior of the Dacia. I wonder how accurate that is. Any Dacia owners in the chat? It's got to probably be accurate, right? Let's take a look at that. Oh, okay. Look at the circle in the southwest.
All right, well, you're feeling good if you're Finstack right now. You get a Prim zone. You see Jerpsy, Seek, Timmy Z, and Zulu all down there. They go Prim. They've gone Prim every game so far today, so they get rewarded here at the end. Finstack actually had a pretty good day. 2 third places so far, so they have to be feeling good. They're jumping up. They were very low in the leaderboards overall. They're actually 33rd, so it's a tough spot for them to be in the last week, and they're getting all the points they can, but it seems unrealistic to get top 16 off this one for them.
I mean, they can still go out with a bang, show everyone who they are, you know?
Yeah, hey, you might as well fight till the very end. On top of this, any team that does not make Showdown will be entering contenders for Split 2, meaning Mondays, starting next Monday, will be Showdown. Only the top 16 will play for EU. Only the top 16 will play for NA every single Monday. On top of that, Tuesdays will be contenders, which we're adding 8 teams. I want to say we're adding 8 teams to it. So it should be 32 teams in 2 separate lobbies that will play. And then at the end of all that, we'll have a nice, we'll bring the Showdown players back down and we'll do it all over again. So a lot of moving up and down as your performance determines.
Yeah, and hey guys, don't forget about the Open Series. If you've ever been interested in joining up and becoming a contender or even going and entering Showdown, the entryway to get into that is through the PUBG Online Open Series. You can see information about that in our Discord. It's a really great environment, actually. You can just play however many games you want. I really like that that's a thing.
Yeah, a lot of teams in Open Series. It's actually becoming ever more popular. We play a game every 30 minutes, literally 100% of the time. So 24 hours, there are 48 games, and they're filling up almost constantly. So much competition down there. And actually, right now, we're having the Open Series promotionals while this game is happening. So the top Open Series teams are actually playing for those 8 additional spots we will be adding to contenders next week. So a lot of exciting stuff happening. That's actually happening off stream right now. So 8 new teams will hop into contenders. It's gonna. I mean, there's so much competition when it comes to PUBG Online. There are so many different squads from all over the world, from the lower levels to the absolute top tier pros that we have in this lobby right here.
It's crazy. PUBG is the only game you can consistently fill a lobby up with 16, 18, 20, however many teams you want. Let's take a look at this game, though, as it looks like our teams are starting to, loot and move around a little bit. Over here we have Gentside, Vic and his teammate climbing up the hill. Now there's a player pretty close to them that if they spot could be in trouble, but it looks like they're going to be going wide here. Now Gentside, they've had a pretty decent run so far. Not like explosive, they're not Team Liquid, but they've been pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, you're sitting in 10th overall. You have to be feeling pretty good if you're Gentside. They've been a consistent team in EU here, and today hasn't been the greatest Gentside day of all time, that's for sure, but they're one of those teams that you can count on them consistently placing well and doing very well. As picks in a couple of crates.
Is he gonna get a double? Is he gonna get the double? Let's see. So he starts off with an AUG, pretty solid. Gonna pick all that up, and now let's see what's in what's in crate number 2. No, never mind. He doesn't want it.
Abandoned.
Well, let's see what's in crate number 2.
Oh,
yeah, I bet he regrets that.
Vixen. You could have had the dream, the M24 AUG. That would have felt pretty good. The level 3 helmet's a boot. Hey, a couple of nice crates. But, Pixen playing for Spet Gaming. That's a team right now, came in 26th at the start of today. They had a win in game number 1, 9th in game number 2. They've been playing fairly well. And what do? They jumped all the way to 15th. So a huge game 4 for them.
Method, where are you going?
Method's just cruising by. They're just making sure the crate was still there. But,
Yeah, it is there. Well, all right. Confirmed, crate's still there.
Yeah, 100%.
Stuff's still in it, but crate's still there. All right. Well, Spec Gaming has themselves a nice, easy spot down here in the houses. We have the circle. It's going to start moving pretty soon, but we still have a couple minutes for our teams to really get situated over here. This is a team that's been doing very, very well. They really need to nail it this game. And, they'll have... If they do that, then they'll have a great day. One of the best days they've actually had here in PUBG Online. Let's see. They're taking shots from very far away, but only about half the HP bar.
Yeah, it's one of those teams, Spet Gaming, they made a great push today, but tomorrow it will not be in their hands. They're going to be in a position where they're looking at the leaderboards and they're watching and they're waiting to see how many points the teams below them get and whether or not they are passed. So, they will end the day in the top 16. And tomorrow it's all about just sitting there and watching themselves drop as teams gain points and hoping that they maintain that 16 spot.
Well, let's see. Over here in the mines, in the quarry or whatever. Well, okay. Well, we have Method up here on the hill, taking shots at some quarry sires. Nothing landing, though. Wow. Nothing landing at all. But still, this hill is very strong. Whether it's stronger than that quarry high ground, I'm not sure. But it looks like finally a brave soul will approach and loot the crate.
My man, Jerpsy. There we go. Someone's committing. 2 players passing it. Jerpsy finally is like, hey, well, I'm actually going to take it this time. Jerpsy will grab the M24. The level 3 helmet. Got to be feeling pretty good. This is an interesting zone right now. A lot of players moving around. One man does go down. He's going to crawl and crawl and crawl. He's not with the rest of Method, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, he crashed. So Zulu drove by Method. And we're seeing the downside of that. Timmy Z and Zulu going down immediately. Method, they're pretty good shots. You can't just drive right by them. Jerpsy will get away.
That's unfortunate for Finstack.
Yeah, Finstack. Where are they on the boards?
They were 33rd going into today. They have actually had a really good day, so I'm sure they jumped. They had a third and a third to start off the day. Unfortunately, it's a team that it's just unrealistic to try and gain a top 16 spot and hold it. They've played very well towards the end of the season here, kind of jumping up as far as they could, especially today. But I don't think it's going to be enough. So for them, it's, let's just do whatever we possibly can and see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, show that you're a top dog before you go into contenders in the contenders series, because those teams are no joke, guys. That's just because we have the showdown series. It's like really epic, godly tier teams doesn't mean that the contenders series isn't like also really amazing teams as well. Over here, another person tries to grab 5 mats, and this one goes away. That's Crab 1K, who just takes a quick knock to the shoulder. Man, those bikes are fast.
And he's heading right towards Jerpsy, so Jerpsy may be able to pick up one here if he takes the shots. No, he's going to cruise
Maybe
by
C.
towards C.
All
right.
It's so hard to hit these bikes at full speed. He's at half HP. One quick headshot should be able to do it. Those are close.
Oh.
Those are close. One more. Come on. Seek. Can he do it? These are getting a little far away. Yes, he can. Seek with a great shot will finally take out that 1K. But man, that was quite a run.
Yeah, Crab's pretty much driving through the gauntlet here as he passes all of Method. A couple players on Fin Stack. Shots coming out all the way. Finally makes it out, but unfortunately cannot find safe cover and will go down. So a lot of players now moving in on the eastern side. We see Liquid on their way. Kavorka, Rixnas, Crispier, and the rest of Noxious taking their time eating some blue. Aggydorp the same for Gent side. And even Frost and the rest of Ataxia taking a boat all the way around Milta Power on the eastern side.
We've seen what happens. Well, we didn't see what happens to those boats, but we've been privy to what happens in these boats sometimes, as it was Genside, I think, who lost 2 under mysterious circumstances. But this time around, looks like they'll be able to get around just fine. I mean, boats, honestly, I usually see good things from teams in boats. I mean, they're a little far away. I don't know. That's a little far away.
Yeah, I mean, they create some really good rotations here. Robin AK is actually in a little bit of trouble here with Fawn as the bike decides to flip majestically for no reason.
That is not the correct time to lose control of the bike. Fawn goes down immediately. Robin takes a tremendous amount of damage. All we have left is him, all alone. His team is coming up to maybe try to help him from behind, but they might be running into a death trap as well, as they've taken a tremendous amount of damage. Robin back down to a quarter. Dyke says, see you later, man. Yeah, you got this. I believe you. Matey, one of the best shots that we've seen all day, immediately gets it on Robin. Man, you can't peek this guy for a second.
The back from Zarky woes continue. You know, they were a team, they were in a good position placement-wise, but today they just do not seem to be clicking at all. They don't seem to be grabbing this opportunity. The points are having a really tough day so far. Losing 2 very, very early is a tough break now. The new circle is about to close, so we will see where we are going here. Vic eating some blue damage still, haven't moved into the zone yet. Liquid driving past. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we do have a picture of the inside of a Dacia. We were asking the question earlier, so if we can bring that up. This is what we were looking at before, and there you go on the right, the actual Dacia.
Gosh.
So pretty
Beautiful.
similar.
Well,
it's actually
but
pretty
those
close.
3 buttons, those 3 buttons aren't legit. There's only 2.
True.
Come on, PUBG Corp, please. What are you doing?
They need
Fix
a
your
new.
game.
They need a new inside of Dacia guy.
Oh, wow. Oh, see you later. That's going to be it for Kamka. Some nice shots from Shade and Mumino. Just going to rip his buggy straight out of the game.
Yeah, Avangar making some plays here, grabbing some kills. A violent team. Very, very consistent fraggers. Not a team you want to come across, especially driving across, trying to get into zone. The buggy, you pop a tire, it starts flipping. An easy explo when they have those full auto guns on the boys from Avangar. Look at that new zone. Nice, centered. Just kind of cut out a lot of the land, kept a little bit of the water. A lot of our players will move towards the quarry.
We've had a lot of these. We've had a lot of players think that they're immortal in motorcycles and be proven otherwise, as we see another player drop down to very, very low health. Sypic is getting shot at as well. Oh, Dykes, he's waiting. Dang, that was fast, but Dykes, he's even faster. He almost takes out Talk. That's going to be it. Oh, I don't know, Sypic as well. Dykes, good shots, but not quite.
Yeah, they're tough shots to take when the Dacia's driving past you so close, because you have to turn so rapidly. A lot of the time, it's difficult to even have a sensitivity when you could realistically do that and keep up with it. So some tough shots, put the pressure on, though, put the damage out a little bit. Sypic here will stop. He will find himself a nice little hut. We see the 2 remaining members of Fin Stack in the barn right there to his south. And, you know, we're split up here. It's an interesting area. Once you get into the swamp, a lot of cover, a lot of teams can get very close to one another. And it becomes very, very scary because you never know exactly how close you are to the opposition. And sometimes when you just make a turn around a corner, shots will ring out.
Vehicles, man. They always make me nervous whenever I see people drive past other squads. That'll never change. Never, ever, ever. The circle's closing in. You know, we could get something over Primorsk, and that would be interesting to close ourselves off with a urban circle. But Quarry is dead center. What do you think about Quarry as an area? It's not a place you see very often, but when you see it, you sure see it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting hold. I actually really like the way that Penta's playing this. They have 2 players on the north, 2 players on the south, kind of split. You see Lux and Simsy up north. You see Ultra and Tommel down on the south, kind of holding both angles. They can peek over both sides, gain as much information as possible. And this keeps people out of Quarry. If anyone tries to get into Quarry and use it as cover, they will do exactly what they did to that UAZ that you see on fire, which is destroy everything that comes inside. So that's kind of the plan here for Penta. Eventually, they will have to group up. It's similar to what we talked about with Crimson in game number 2. At a certain point, when the circle comes in, the pressure will come and you'll have to group up. As Method taking a ton of shots over at Attacks, trying to move across the beach.
Andy lands one on Grubsy. So Ataxia, they took the long boat in. And they get met with losing a member quite early on. They're all 3 of them sitting in that shack. I don't know how sustainable that shack is, though. It's pretty near the edge of the circle, and you can't really leave without someone shooting at you.
Yeah, it's tough. They may have to opt for water here. Hopefully, if the circle goes south, if it goes north, they're in a lot of trouble. That is quite the run they're going to have to make. Spet Gaming going to be waiting for them. You can see the arrows of Spet Gaming, 3 of them facing the south. They're keeping the hold here on Attacks, and that is not good at all. Felix holding the north, keeping the flank. They're checking out the water. They're checking out the shack. Look at Fie right now. Just like, all right, come out. I'm waiting for you. You're going to have to leave eventually. So that's a tough position for Attacks to be in.
Well, they're going to be sitting there for quite a while. So PJ, he's zooming in and out.
That is their home now. Yes.
Well, if he catches the head, he might be able to shoot at it. Yeah, they have to sit there for a long time, but let's see if the circle will let them, because it's about to update in just 1 second.
Oh.
It won't. It won't.
All right, so we've cut out Prim. We've cut out where Attacks is. We cut out Ferry Pier. Everybody's going to be going north. Quarry is still in, which means there's a lot of swamp area as well, which you see kind of wind and rain. They're split on either side of the swamp. Russellmore on the eastern side, Cheese Doodles and Kaz on the west. That is where you're going to see a ton of players move into because there is so much cover. On the eastern side, you have a hill, a lot of tree cover. A lot of cover in this zone right now. So we should have a lot of teams surviving. We still have 16 alive. We still have 53 players. So I don't see too many dying in this rotation in a zone with so many places to go.
There are a lot of places. That's absolutely correct. In fact, Wick is showing us one of the sneakier ones. Who would have thought that this was a real place? Also, there are all these little tiny houses and shacks and such dotted around the landscape. But these circles go fast once we get to this point. Only 70 seconds. We see this one's halfway done. So our teams need to start picking up the pace.
Absolutely. It's one of those things you cannot take your time. You need to get into zone. Genside here under a little bit of pressure from Avangar. Avangar kind of teasing outside, holding down the southern side of this compound, using the defilade to their advantage. Genside's going to be in a little bit of trouble, but Inductive does go down. Vic with a little cheeky flank moving around the western side.
Oh, look at that. Vic takes out one already. Can't take out another. This one's so important, but no, he gets taken out instead. He didn't manage to finish off the kill. Andrea, he's going to trade one. Ooh. Is that a true trade? No, it's not. He's going to take out both. Really nicely done by Andrea. Genside is going to cleanly take that. All 4 still up. I mean, those peaks were sick. Headshots all the way by Andrea and Vic.
Yeah, it's a great job there by Genside. Vic's flank on the western side. Getting a little cheeky with it, getting a little tricky, moving around, getting a clean down on Inductive before Avangar could even react, creating a 4x2 situation, or a 4 versus 2 situation, and then capitalizing right away. As soon as that knock came out, they went extra aggressive, and Andrea came for the support, was able to get the trade, and then able to get the final kill. And it's Avangar, the first team eliminated in this game. That's back-to-back 16th places for a team that has done so well so far in PUBG Online.
They sure have. But, I mean, yeah, what happens, happens, right? Now, Crimson is team that has also been playing well. They've gotten themselves into some really good positions, but they haven't been able to clinch it and really pull through today. So let's see what they can do this time around. They are pretty close to the edge, and they have multiple teams around them. They do look safe for now.
Yeah, it's an interesting location to be in, right above Finstack there. Strange, but they should be safe moving into the zone. They could probably stay where they are, no problem. Down here, this could be a tough spot for Exalt, because as you're moving into this, up this hill, every time you're moving up a hill, what you lack is information. It's tough to figure out where all the teams are. It's tough to look around. You don't have crazy sight lines. Add in all the trees, and it could get very dangerous here in the south, especially Methods here. Team number 7, that's Vivictus. They're here. Exalt's here. Pro 100's here. Ataxia is moving in. So the south going to be very, very popular.
Well, here we go. We're about to see which area is really popular as the circle updates. We still have teams fighting in the south, and that's an MK14. All right, pretty good. We've seen some really good stuff from that weapon. Leaderboard, man, it's so visual seeing Liquid 500 points ahead. But in the south, we have Ataxia losing a member already, but they're pushing straight up to Arcway, who gets another kill. His team gets another down, so now Ataxia is just down to 1.
Yeah, it's all up to Rax here. He's going to try and move in. He gets cover. He's not all the way in the zone. He does have a minute till this next one pushes, as the new zone did go to the south, so that's going to help Rax out a lot in this situation, but he's right next to Arcway. So a couple solos just chilling right next to each other. And Method overhanging, keeping the pressure on. This new zone is really strange, though, because all these teams up in the north, they have to head towards Quarry.
Oh, no. Elastic, don't stop there. Ival just sits there. He smiles to himself, and he takes the shots. Oh. Matey goes down as well. To PJ helping out there. Another one tries to make his way in, but, I mean, who do we even have left? It's just going to be Zargan up there, the only one who didn't drive straight into the honeypot.
Spet Gaming in a very good hold here, very good location. Ival staying outside of the compound to get that angle when they try and hold the wall against them. Very, very smart play by him. The frags are coming out, but I don't know how much this is going to help. Possibly blowing up. Whoa!
Oh!
Whoa!
Well, I mean, he's going to be revived, but still, that was sick. Oh, I don't know.
What a
Is this one going to kill him? Is that one going to kill him? Come on, Zargan. Go out with a bang. Literally. No, it didn't land. Didn't land. PJ's still alive. But still, that was cool. I'll give you a 10 out of 10 for style.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like, I was like, oh, that's never gonna hit, and it goes through and actually gets PA on it. So wild grenade throw. Liquid also pushing into this compound here. It's getting extra heated. We see Jeems, we see Skoom, and Ibiza. PA now in trouble. Looks like he might not get rezzed. As the rest of his team, no, he will be killed off. That's it. Skoom will grab that kill. Very important play for them. Ival did go down as well, so it's all up to Pixon now for Spec Gaming.
Man, is Liquid gonna get another first place? I mean, there's still lots of teams left. It's a little bit earlier. It's a little bit early to say, but I mean, they're back safely in the circle once again. The Southwest looking pretty unsafe, looking pretty dense. But we have a bunch of solos. Pixon in trouble as well. Man, everyone in this circle looks like they're in some sort of fight.
Yeah, it's wild. There's a lot of activity going on here. Way too many players in a small zone. Andy backing off, doing the damage, then backing up. One of his teammates around the side, though. It's Chris. Gets it down on Kavorka and then is traded out. So it looks like it's going to be all up to Andy right now.
All right, so Andy's the last one left. He's in a good spot. I mean, he's in a nice spot in the circle where he doesn't need to necessarily move. He can hide around. He can hide out. Probably get his team up to a decent placement, but it's going to be rough.
Yeah, Method's going to have to try and get everything they can out of this one. Andy did move up. He's towards the center of the zone. He's in a pretty good position. Rax still alive, all alone, right next to Exalt Gaming. All four of them kind of moving around. Cup of Magic, Uter, Brexco, and Chronix creeping up, trying to ensure the southern side is safe. But Rax is going to be able to hold that down and stay alive, probably through an entire another circle.
So if we take a look at the circle, speaking of, it's about to update. It looks relatively stable. Rustin Marr, not so much, as if he moves forward even just a little bit, he's exposing himself to the entire world. I think this guy's dead. I think he's dead.
Yeah, this is Penta just holding down the northern side. They can keep an eye. Look at all the vision that you have from up here. Penta used this to their advantage. 4 kills already. Going to keep Rustenmar out of the zone, force him to sit in the blue and take damage med as long as he can. But eventually, he's going to have to get up and try and run for it. Luxno's going to take the shots and get the kill. Or you just let yourself die to the zone. Gent side now in a pretty good position. Penta will have to move a little bit to the west. A lot of quarry in this zone. A lot of quarry.
That is. This is a quarry circle, just straight up. I hope it goes all the way in, because I've got to say, it's pretty exciting watching just straight up players fighting quarry. It has really cool, interesting terrain. That being said, most of the players who are already up on the high ground are safe for now, but there's a lot of teams who are trying to make their way in from the east and the south, and we'll see how they disrupt it.
Yeah, so Gen side's okay. They're going to stay low and try and stay on the outside. Crimson, they did move up on top of Quarry. They still have 4 strong. So they're going to try and hold down this western side. They don't have too many teams pressuring them yet, and they can really kind of hold down a really good location. It's really only Sipik over there. As we see Exalt kind of walking in that direction, teasing it. But if Piva sees it, they will take the shots. They'll keep them away. You also see Noxious. They're going to go on the same rotation. Liquid now full push with vehicles. It'll be interesting to see where they land. Looks like they're just going to go right up on top of Quarry right away, try and gain some sort of footing in the zone that they can play off of.
Liquid, they're not quite in the circle yet. They still need to push up a little bit further, and that's when it gets kind of dangerous, because look at this. This is a giant ring with lots of teams who are certainly looking across. This gets very interesting, actually, all of these stand-ups across. Now, look at this Gent side in particular is kind of scattered around here. We have Andrea and Kailenk down below with their 2 teammates more up above. What can they do here?
Penta could be in trouble if they can get an early down here. Vic can snag this one on the Simsy, and it looks like he almost did. The frag's coming
Vic,
out now.
With a great shot on Simsy. Those frags could be big, but not quite. Oh, geez, those were so close. What can Kailenk do from below? He can get one. Luxno goes down. Wow, that was a lot of shots, but Kailenk with the happy feet manages to get away just barely. That's huge. Genside gets to take a quick pick out of Penta without taking any damage themselves. But as I say that, Vic goes down up here as he pushes a little bit too close. Simsy now needs to retreat back towards his team a little bit, or maybe even look over the rocks. He's really hurt, man. He's got to heal. There we go.
Yeah. And it's time for Liquid right now, Skyline. Liquid getting the down onto Vic. They're the ones putting the pressure out from the southeast. Every player that gets on top of Quarry right now is going to take shots from Liquid. They're going to keep all these players off. They're going to try and keep them down in the swamp on the western side, and they're going to be the aggressors moving forward. It's amazing how they play this one, waiting patiently, getting into the zone. Once the fight breaks out, look at them. Now they're being aggressive. They're shooting at Noxious. They're shooting at everyone. They're going to move into the zone. The only thing they really need to worry about right now is somebody below them named Andy Pyro, as Method is right below Liquid.
Oh my gosh, look at all these deaths. Breaksco now going over the side. He can do terrible damage. He just landed shots. He gets one right off the bat. Liquid is still alive. Who's going to win the 1v1? It's Breaksco with a double.
Very important kill there onto Noxious. Noxious has been eliminated. The zone does go west, so it is not in favor of Liquid. They have a bit of a run here. They're going to hop in the vehicles right away. You see Samty. He's going to try and grab a foothold here, but this could be a problem because we do still have teams on the quarry itself. Looks like Samty was able to get in. Still alive, still okay. He's going to try and keep the pressure on the teams there, but look at Crimson. Pybus and NBS right on top.
This is getting really interesting, I'm going to say, here on Quarry. I've never really seen this split before, and the teams need to... This is going to be a big fight over the high ground. Whoever can get it is going to come significantly on top, and now it's up to Gent's side, but still behind. They're not looking behind! Ultrastar gets one right off the bat, and the second one immediately after, but it's straight up by the good reactions of Egidorp. Let's see, though. Egidorp was able to make himself hidden behind the rock, but he's being pushed by multiple players. It's looking pretty bad for him. He has to pull out a miracle here. And, alright, that's a decent start. Whoa, Noble with the hard AK, but that's going to be it, as Egidorp is too low.
That was a great push there by Penta. So Penta's going to be able to move forward in this one. They're going to stay low now. They will now own the swamp side of it. They just need to get close to Crimson and below them. That is their priority. Crimson needs to hold the north. It's very important.
All right, this is getting interesting, these vertical fights. It's really, it can be tricky to see who exactly has what angle But I can tell you right now, Scoom has an angle on Kappa Magic. But still, I mean, Scoom's not at full health. A quick peek, headshot, boom, 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 and that could be it. Let's see. Kappa Magic. He's going for it, but he's a bit scooped out, as he really should be. But the circle that's moving in, he doesn't have a lot more time left. He needs to make a move pretty soon. I think he has to take the fight with Scoom.
Yeah, he's going to have to run in, try and get across the street. It's going to be really tough. The good news is it's a little bit of a distraction for the rest of his squad as they move further to the west. Crimson actually grouped up center circle, so Penta will find their way in on the northern side. That's very important. Cup of Magic now, taking a lot of damage from Scoom. Scoom may be able to hold this one up. He looks for breaks going, almost gets him.
Wow. Okay, Scoom is being a bit living life on the edge here. There's still a player. Cup of Magic is still there, able to peek him at any time. But Cup of Magic has been really timid, man. I mean, Scoom just like flicked a headshot onto him, no problem. So maybe I can understand. But Liquid, looks like they have full control over this cliff face.
A lot of teams. 7 teams still alive. 19 players all up here. We're going to fight a little King of the Hill. Crimson holds it down. Lockwood does go down to Simsy. So Penta being a little aggressive from the north.
All right. Crimson, this is their time. They're in the middle of the circle. They need to clear it out as much as they can. Liquid, by the way, wait that squad over there, but that grenade looks huge. Simsy goes down. Tommel pretty close to it. As Jambawe, he's got to be pretty happy with that. Still, they
That was a
don't
great throw.
push.
That was a perfect
They don't push
throw.
because Liquid's behind them. Still, they open it up on James. Pybus gets traded out, but NBS is still here with his teammate Jambawe. Let's see what they can do. Liquid is a real force of nature, but Crimson is looking like they can maybe stop them. Jambawe had a shot, but couldn't quite take it. This is a standoff for now, but it has to happen eventually.
Yeah, Liquid has no choice but to push. They have to be aggressive, take the fight to Crimson. Luckily for them, they still have Penta they need to worry about to the north. So Crimson needs to be careful while they're in this fight. They cannot let their back be exposed. That's why we see Jambawe down here, holding down this position in between the rocks. Cannot be shot from Penta. Just stay in the fight that you're in, try and defend Liquid. Liquid now all 4 members back up. Crimson only 2. Now a third as they did get Pybus up.
That's Pybus getting up. Now we have Liquid still not quite in the circle. Those UAZs actually sort of are. Maybe they can just hide behind that. Ooh, Biza going up, using the smoke as cover to get his UAZ into a better position. But Team Liquid, they're scarily on the edge. And Crimson is scarily in the middle. Lots of teams sandwiching them right now.
Yeah, we have 1 member of Unskilled down still inside the quarry. That could be a little bit of trouble for Team Liquid as they do have 1 player that dropped down to try and hold down inside. You see James there. You see Zargan kind of creeping up the staircase. He may be able to get a nice angle here on a free kill. Look at him just looking right at James.
Oh, but James, click the button. Click that button, Zargan. All right, James a little bit out of range right now. But, oh, the patience is going to mean that Liquid finally notices him and takes him out. He was just a solo player, so he had to do what he could to try to sneak into the circle.
That is tough. That is a tough break there. Trying to be patient, maybe a little too patient. Crimson has now grouped up even more center. They keep pushing closer and closer together as Penta moves up, Liquid moves up, Exalt moves up. Those are your final 4 teams.
All right, let's see. Can Liquid take first place again, or will they be stopped? Their main, the main thing stopping them was Crimson, and you see Simsy from behind takes them out. Crimson, like I said, they have a problem right now where they're sandwiched between so many teams. They're going to get into the little shack there, and that's in the circle, so that's safe for now.
That NBS was absolutely 1 shot away from death. Look at Penta now. They're going to move out into the blue or right next to the blue and try and get up on top. They're going to put pressure on Liquid. If they can win this fight, they'll be in a great position to actually win the game. I'm not sure if Liquid is prepared for a team to move up on top. You see Scoom kind of teasing it. Tommel holding that exact spot, waiting to get a shot onto the head of Scoom.
It's funny because the red dot is sort of blocking his vision on the head there. So Liquid has this high space, and so does Penta. Both of these teams are looking very strong. I have a feeling that one of these teams will win it, but, you know, Crimson, like I said, they're in the circle, they're in the shack. They're not looking too shabby either, but here we go. They're being pushed right now. But still, like I said, because they're in the compound, they can back off and take their time.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, so many teams right on top of each other. Exalt actually owns most of the circle down below. Uter and Brexco with Chronix. They have the majority of it as it went a little bit to the west. Zimbabwe will go down to a grenade. It looks like Crimson players are just going down left and right, but they keep getting the reses. They're staying alive. Scoom actually wrapping around.
That's dangerous, man. That's rough. Okay, so he won't peek it after all. Or he won't continue to peek it. Zimbabwe is, he's down. He's out. Zimbabwe's gone, so Crimson only has 2 players now. Oh, Liquid, look at them from up around. This is some sneaky stuff. Peeks up the ledge. They have a perfect view on everyone, but still they trade out. Great reactions, 2 for 2, but now Ibiza gets the 3rd. So Liquid right now has 2 players left. They're quite split, but they were able to bring Penta down to just 1, and that's Simsy of Doom. Really great play by Liquid, but man, they lost a lot.
Oh, Scoom peeking the edge there. Very, very dangerous. Here we are. So now we have a final circle situation with 4 teams alive.
Jeez. I mean, this is probably the craziest, most active final circle I've ever seen, I think.
Yeah, it's completely wild. So let's just break this down and explain how this is going to work. Penta here, they're going to take their time. They're going to get the reses. So they will actually be 3 strong, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Which is huge for them. Liquid will be down to 2. We see team number 12. That's Exalt. They have 3 up, and Crimson has 2 up. So 2 teams of 3, 2 teams of 2. There is a timer right there. You guys see the one above the mini-map. What's going to happen is that's going to sit there for roughly 3 minutes. Once that is over, it will start a 15-second countdown. When that happens, a little tiny asterisk will appear on the map somewhere in this circle. That is the final location. All players will have to move there. The circle will close 100%, and whoever is alive last wins.
Yeah, and these circles, they go pretty fast.
They're fast.
By the way, now. Yeah, they're like sonic.
You cannot change them. There's no setting to change them. So once it pops up, once the timer hits 0, you need to start killing everybody. NBS does go down to Ultra.
And Simsy will finish it off. So now it's just down to Pybus. And I don't think anyone's pushing him from this angle, so he should be fine for now. But yeah, guys, definitely stick around. Check out this final circle closing because it's going to be a real riot, let me tell you. So now we have Team Liquid. I can't believe Penta got both of their down members up, so there's still a 3. That's so huge.
Yeah, they had 3 players down there in the fight against Liquid, and it was one of those situations where they had an extra player right near the zone. Ibiza was there as well, but the zone was pushing him off of the cliff. He didn't really have anywhere safe to go, so he decided to back up, return to the rock that you see him at now, which was the right decision, I think. As we see Simsy actually going down to Scoom.
Down and out, yeah. So Liquid, I mean, these players are doing a good job of finding their moments of opportunity. Sometimes you see teams just hunker down and not move for these circles. By the way, I don't think Breaksco can get up. And actually, that entire team can't get up. So, fun. Actually, if the circle centers over them, they just win, right? I think they just win.
I mean, they would have the best opportunity to. I think Scoom and Pybus and Ultra could still shoot from above and kill them before the final circle closes. The problem is if the circle goes up top because they can't do anything. They can't shoot anybody up there, and they can't get up there. So it would be tough. They would have to try and med through it as long as they could and hope that everybody up top just kills each other. Like I don't know the real strategy. Throw some grenades and pray or something like that.
But if it is up top, we get a really interesting circle because everyone's so close that it will actually come down to the gunfights. It won't just be like, oh, the circle closed in and everyone dies. So that'll be interesting. Okay. Here we go. Here's the countdown.
There's so many players, I can't see where it is on the map. I think it's center.
I have no clue. Guys, this is going to go so fast. It's going to be... Oh, wow. What a pick. What? Whoa. What happened to Penta? Ibiza just killed everyone. Here comes the circle. Pybus goes down as well. And I don't know the circle centering. It looks like it might be up. It might be down.
Yeah, it's center.
It's Liquid. I think Liquid's got it. We'll have to see.
Oh, medding time.
Medding time. Yeah, Ibiza.
Oh, Ebi!
But no, taking over Ibiza. Ibiza finishes it off with the sloping, jumping downwards, angled downwards. Well,
how does Liquid win that? How does Liquid win that? 13 kills coming out of Liquid. Their 3rd win of the day. The victory lap to finish it off. Ibiza finishing off split 1 by jumping through the air to get the final kill before he hits the ground. Unbelievable.
Ooh. Just let out a deep breath.
Wow.
Everyone at home. I know.
Wow.
You've been holding it in. Just let it out. Jeez, what a game. Liquid with the hat trick, dude. The hat trick, like I said, maybe they would just come and show everyone up and just show off their stuff, even though they already pretty much have first place clinched. But I'm going to say it right now, Liquid are first place 100%. There is no way anyone can catch up to them here in the first split of PUBG Online.
That is absolutely wild. Here is the final fight. Once again, we see James, we see Ibiza, we see Scoom. They were all grouped up on top. They try and push around onto Penta. You see them up top. They get 3 knocks. They're traded out. They get 3. 2 of them go down. Ibiza decides, I need to back away. I can't go for a res. Don't want to finish this one off. Now they move over here into this location. You see Crimson. You see Penta. You see Exalt all alive. NBS going down to Penta. Simsy finishing it off. It just completely out of control. This is a final circle situation. Scoom taking out Simsy. And then somehow, someway, I don't even know what happened. Liquid was able to finish off Penta here before this one closed. And then watch Ibiza.
Let's see this one.
Watch Ibiza.
Watch
he jumps
Ibiza.
in the zone. It's insane. It's a 2v2. Chronic's just moving around looking for angles. He doesn't even know what to do. Ibiza jumps. He shoots the whole way down. And somehow, someway, if you look at the kill feed, Ibiza gets the headshot onto Brexco to win this final game.
Dude, that was absolutely the sickest thing. That's got to be the top 3.
I can't even.
Yeah, show that again.
Right
show that like 5 times in a row, man. Actually, it's funny too, because I want to point out one more thing before we close this out. Ibiza jumps down. And notice that he doesn't, he just needs one shot, that one headshot right there. Boom. See you later, Brexco. He was shooting the way down, but man. It's because he thought that, I mean, if Brexco was further up, he actually had a chance of winning. So I think Ibiza thought that he had to do that.
No, it's genius. You leave Scoom there to med, and you're like, Ibiza, just try and get the kill. See if you can somehow kill him. That is insane.
And he obviously didn't know exactly where the player was either, so it's a bit more impressive than that because he didn't have our God vision. All right, guys. Wow. Well, that was absolutely incredible. I hope you all enjoyed the show because we sure did.
I can't even, dude.
Team Liquid coming first place 3 times in a row. These guys have shown that they are they're pretty sick.
It's absolutely disgusting. Like, I can't even explain to you. They were ahead, and they're like, all right, let's just finish it off, clean this one up. No, let's grab 3 wins and finish off the last game of split number 1 for Team Liquid in the most epic fashion. Here's the deal, everyone. That was it for today's games for EU. 4 games were played. We will play NA in exactly 2 hours' time. Tons of fights going on there right here on twitch.tv/PUBGOnline. If you're a fan of the EU scene, though, and you know these teams and you're rooting for some of them, if you're rooting for Wind and Rain or Noxious or Attacks or Method or Avangar, any of these teams, be sure to tune in tomorrow because all these teams' fates will be in control of the 16 teams playing. We will find our top 16, who gets into the Showdown Series for split number 2, who gets to compete for $20,000. Completely out of control day. First of all, Skyline, thank you for casting with me. It was absolutely epic. I can't even, like, I don't even know what to say. It's just out of control. Thank you to all the viewers, the players, the moderators, everybody, Sifl and Sap on production. Everyone have an amazing day. We will see you right here in 2 hours' time for NA.